What's up, chat? We were looking at a thing. Don't ask questions.
Hello, chat. It's I. You missed Mizu's thing right there. He said we're looking at stuff. Don't ask questions.
Yeah, don't ask questions. We were just talking about, so today we're gonna talk about like a Danganronpa fan game that's in some controversy. And we were talking about how many people actually know what Danganronpa is. And my opinion is that most people probably know what it is, but they wouldn't know much about it. Like, you could probably ask the average weeb what's Danganronpa, and every single one of them would be like, oh, isn't it that game about kids killing each other or something? That's probably as much as they would know, but they would still know that, right?
Yeah.
And then somehow we got onto the topic of, like, there's not many Monokuma plushes in the West. To which I said, well, you know, like, Sanrio's pretty big, and the only plushes we really get of that are Hello Kitty and Kuromi, and none of the others.
Yeah. And don't forget Cinema Roll, because for some reason Cinema Roll has a chokehold on just a bunch of people to the point where they like kept rigging the like the yearly, I think monthly or yearly Sanrio poll to be like, all right guys, we gotta keep aiming for Cinema Roll because he's super underrated so that we can get merch for the 80th time.
Yeah. That said, I do need to get the new DLC for Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
It is an island adventure for Hello Kitties. So basically, today is going to be me explaining the Danganronpa lore because Mizu has never watched or played Danganronpa. And I, who is just straight up an unsupervised teenager who loved anime, was like, yo, Danganronpa looks cool.
Chat, what's wrong with me having Hello Kitty Island Adventure? I don't see any problem with that. I like games, chat.
Listen, Mizu says he likes games, not the cool games. He likes games.
Yes, I like mini games, chat.
Like,
I'm allowed to play League of Legends, Windrose, and Hello Kitty Island Adventure together. Also, I am a bit of a Sanrio tourist, because Kuromi is my favorite.
I mean, it's Kuromi.
Yeah, but it's a little touristy.
It is, but it is Kuromi. I mean, she and My Melody had straight up a TV series. If you didn't know who she was, yeah. Listen, my favorite was Choco Cat. And the fact that Choco Cat appeared once on a Sanrio poll so high in the US, we're eating tonight, all 5 of us Choco Cat fans.
Yeah. Oh, somebody in chat asked what my role was in League of Legends. I need to preface this. So my role in League of Legends is support. But I need to preface this by I play support in a way that specifically pisses off the ADC. Because I play kill lane support. Where the goal is not actually... It's to support your ADC by making sure the other guy is just always dead. Which really pisses off ADCs, because it means I have like 30 kills by the end of the game, and the ADC has like 2. He's just like raging in chat.
I'm assuming that means that means you level up more than them.
Mm-hmm. Level up more and you get more money.
Yeah, I can see why that would make people mad, and why it would also be really funny.
Based Pyke? No, Pyke is actually garbage. I play Annie. Annie is the real support choice. But chat, today we're talking about Project Eden's Garden, and I have to preface this with the same thing we preface every stream about. Don't go harass these people or like downvote their game or anything like that. We're just talking about the fun stuff.
Yeah, pretty much everybody's collectively agreed. If you've looked into it, it's not that, because most of this was a volunteer project. So it was just a lot of volunteers coming together to really make this game good. It's just that it had a yandere dev lead the charge. And he got kicked off pretty early anyway.
Yeah,
well, no, he didn't get kicked off early. He got kicked off recently.
The other thing we've learned is that the people making this game don't really like Danganronpa, and they don't really like anime.
So it was it the leader guy? He didn't like it. What is it? Because I gotta reread his name. The leader of the project was a guy named Soze. I'm gonna call him Soze because I want to. Basically, he was the one that didn't like it, but most of the team was. But he was, of course, head writer.
Yeah.
And so you basically have a group of people who really like this game, and then just the one guy who's like, I know we said this was going to be an action movie, but I kind of hate action and movies.
Character design honestly gave that away, did it? It feels very like the art like comes across as like very 1-to-1 almost.
Oh yeah, they got like actual people. So like most Danganronpa fan games, because this. So here's the thing with me. I was into Danganronpa up till V3. By then, I left the franchise because it was over now. Like they said it was the last game. Well, that was the last game. And when I came back, I found out about the fan game community, and I kind of just hand waved it. Was like, you guys are doing a good job. You seem to know what you're doing. So, and the same thing was for this also, because I kind of hand waved it away, and then I found out through researching this, apparently this was highly anticipated to, I think, to the point where even like even the actual devs noticed, and they were like, well, I'm not going to interfere, but I know you guys are doing good, so keep up the good work. So this, they try to be as accurate as possible, and they want it. What is it? What's an anime you can think of where people love the aesthetic, but they just hate it? Oh wait, no, we already talked about that.
I'm trying to think of one that like fits that description better. I'll be, for me personally, Attack on Titan.
People LARP the aesthetic but hate the plot.
I actually do like the aesthetic of Attack on Titan, but I think the entire show is an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
Boruto?
Like, also, like...
No, we're not talking about Boruto.
I mean, we do have a bunch of Boruto LARPers because they will do anything but watch their show. They will literally trash and dunk and fight with every other fandom but support Boruto.
I don't even get how you end up a fan of Boruto. Like, at least with other shows I can get it, but Boruto, it's like, what do you like about this? This is retarded. They turned the ninjas into aliens. Like, what?
That's why I said they will literally fight with every other fandom because they can't find something they actually like about Boruto.
And then Boruto's a little annoying bitch. Like, it just can't get his shit together. Like, Naruto was a little annoying when he was younger and, like, before Shippuden. But Naruto still had, like, a good heart. Boruto's just a bitch, and he's annoying.
I would say, like, the thing with, like, Naruto, at least from my, like, small experience with Naruto, he wasn't, to me at least, he wasn't really annoying, but he was bratty. But, like, that brattiness came from a place of hurt, but he still wanted to do right. Whereas Boruto doesn't really have stakes because he's literally the son of the Hokage, and he cheated that one time, and yeah, that's it. Pretty much anybody. The only reason why I hear about Boruto is that one crying scene and anything related to Naruto, because people don't care about Boruto. Like,
they tried to make Naruto into a deadbeat dad because he's never home. But, like, first off, I don't believe Naruto would end up that way. But second off, that does not mean that Boruto's childhood is analogous to Naruto's. He still has a mom and dad who love him. His mom is home all the time. Naruto is literally living in an apartment with like $100 allowance a week, just eating ramen by himself is like a 5-year-old. Like, shut the fuck up. Oh my god. What do you have to complain about?
And the Hokage could have done something about it and just didn't. He's like, I know you were like the last Hokage's son.
I promised to take care of you in his dying breath. So here's a shitty apartment. Here's an allowance. Figure it out. What? You couldn't adopt him or something? Like, I don't... What is wrong with you?
the people would have been mad at me if I did that, if I adopted you. So this was the best compromise.
What the fuck? Oh, we're already way off track. We could do an entire stream just bitching about Boruto. I hate it so much.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's time to explain the Danganronpa lore. But we're going to be doing that by discussing what the heck is Project Eden's Garden. So for those that don't know from what I just said, Project Eden's Garden is a Danganronpa fan game. There are other Danganronpa fan games that are successful and have been released, like Danganronpa Another Story, if I remember correctly. It's called Another Story. It's been a hot minute. I was researching this. So basically, there are successful Danganronpa fan games. The problem is that you have a subsect of Danganronpa fans that love and LARP the aesthetic of Danganronpa and kin a ton of characters, but they don't like the icky, gross stuff of Danganronpa, despite that being like the literal reason why everybody likes Danganronpa. Like, we all acknowledge, like, how Danganronpa sometimes can be like weirdly tone deaf or tone whiplash, but we still love it. But you got that subsect of people, and none of that is an example than this entire document right here. Because imagine making a manifesto about your Danganronpa fan game.
Yeah, so I think that's in the side over here. So the first part of this document, you guys can't see it, it's off to the side, is called the Obelisk Manifesto and Exploration. But I guess we're just gonna go through this. So we have the context first.
So it happened. If I could explain this before that,
yeah,
if that's okay. Basically, this is actually the third controversy this game has gone into these past couple of months, because what originally happened was that they had again, most of this stuff is volunteer work, including the voice actors. And what happened was that the reason why all this came out like it did was they had someone contact a 14-year-old while they were 20 and grooming them. The victim then came out, not even thinking they were a victim. And once everybody was told that this happened, everybody, pretty much most of the voice actors and the artists just left, because what the heck. Due to this, and I'm showing some of the Reddit threads right now, due to this, what ended up happening was that somebody announced that it was canceled, because what happened was that after everyone left, someone decided to leak everything. They leaked everything. They leaked the story. They leaked who was going to be the murderers, who was going to be the victims. Everything was leaked. And that caused a stir online, which is how I ended up finding out about this project. And then the manifesto came out.
Really quick, no, we did not react to a video about a Danganronpa fan game. I forced Kendra to watch pieces of a video that was talking about a game that was basically like supposed to be a Danganronpa clone. That was a shit show. But the guy making the video on it was also a shit show. So, it was kind of a shit show all around. Shit showception, as they say.
He didn't look like he liked Danganronpa in the first place, and then he still wanted to make a review hating on a Danganronpa clone, so it's like, you know what? I think it's kind of all around a failure to begin with.
Why didn't you play something that you would enjoy?
Well, you see, somebody needs to critique the bad stuff. It's just that you should probably be a fan of the franchise before you actually do that. Yeah.
Be a fan of something before you make a fan project of it, or before you try to critique it.
What is it? And I'll also show this on my side for like those who are like, this was a really good fan game. Like this got attention from like the Danganronpa devs. And if you're familiar with Danganronpa's art style, it's very like, this was clearly someone's like actual like passion project. Someone actually put time and effort into this.
Somebody cares.
Just that the person. It's just that I've been seeing some of the actual like people that helped with this online, and they are pretty much crushed by this entire thing, because now this manifesto has basically painted the entirety of their project that's already been canceled and like has been in the works for like a while. They just decided, you know what? We're just gonna. This is one Hail Mary to destroy its reputation. So, yeah.
So I guess we need the context first, then. I figured we'd both just have it open on our own sides.
Yeah, I did. I've had it open.
We're not going through all of this chat, because it's 70 pages. We'll go through a lot of it, though. Oh, the context. This document was written in April of 2021. Solely by me, who is Obelisk. So is Obelisk a random team member, or is this the guy?
It's the guy.
He's the guy.
Yeah. Well, I think, what is it, if I remember correctly? Because I know he was like, I think it was that he was near like the end of production. He got kicked out pretty like late into it, but like he didn't share the same vision. The creator, however, was one of the people that did kind of hide the grooming allegations. And it was like, what the heck, bro?
So this guy was important, but he's not the groomer.
Yeah.
So everything in this document would be the focal point for the team moving forward, and this document was intended to be amended over the course of the production should there be suggestions for changes, additions, or retractions to plot-relevant information. In October of 2021, I left the production of Project Eden's Garden and instructed the team that they could use any writing from this document that they wanted, but were no longer restricted to the facts laid forth moving forward. The document was published April of 2026 for transparency's sake, and since the production of Project Eden's Garden has officially ended. There has been some confusion due to leaks of the story that occurred during April of 2026. Hopefully this document should distinguish the initial writing of Obelisk versus the writing of the team moving forward after my departure. I will be direct about this. I left the team because there was a major contention between myself and the writing team on Project Eden's Garden, specifically the individual leading the writing team known as Soze. So Soze is the bad one.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the leader.
Specifically, from month one of bringing Soze into production, she had pushed... Oh, it's a she. Interesting. She had pushed me numerous times into changing major parts of the story, including important, I considered vital at the time, story details, such as who the mastermind of the killing game is. Yeah, no, that's, if you're doing a killing game story, it's kind of important to know who's doing it, who's your jigsaw, so to speak. If you're writing the story and you're just constantly changing who the actual villain is, like, you're kind of fucking up.
My thing is that you can actually change up who's who, because again, sometimes the vision does change over time. Like, even Junko originally wasn't supposed to be the mastermind. But she was like connected in some way because she was like the first victim in the original concept arts. The issue is everything else that happens with this.
The tension lasted for... Oh shit, I gotta sneeze. I can feel it.
Bless you.
Thank you. I could like feel it really early, but it was waiting.
Chat, just spam a bunch of sneezing emojis in chat now.
I don't have a sneezing emoji, so yeah. This tension lasted for months during production until she and the rest of the writers ceremoniously quit the production in October of 2021, to which they claimed I had treated them unfairly compared to other members of the team. I do not contest that fact, and I hope now people can review such story details that were conflicted over. I did not write Cassidy Amber to be the mastermind of the killing game. I felt that changing a detail this big would ruin everything else I had written prior. So I have no idea who Cassidy Amber is, but do we really care?
Considering that they jump around with who's the villain and who's not. Nah.
There. Would I change things almost 5 years later, rereading it now? Absolutely. but I wanted to publish this so that fans could see what my original vision would have been had I complete creative control over the project. I hope fans of Project Eden's Garden will appreciate this vulnerableness that I am putting myself in by publishing this unfinished work. Thank you to the team for your years of work, even after my departure.
All right, after double checking, apparently Cassidy Amber, she's the ultimate gamer.
The ultimate gamer.
Pro gamer. She's the ultimate pro gamer. Ironic, because we already have the ultimate gamer. That's Chiak.
Is there any porn on this page? There is not. So, chat, I guess it was supposed to be this girl. This kind of vaguely Russian-looking chick with the Yushenka on.
There is actually a reason for that, why they're vaguely Russian, and I don't think we'll be able to get to it because it is further. Because I don't think we're gonna read all of the character intros.
Oh, it's 70 pages.
We're gonna be, because like there's just a huge section dedicated to just like the characters. We're not doing that, but we will read the important ones.
Okay, I will let Kendra decide what is important. Ow, no, I got my hair stuck. This sounds eerily similar to what happened with the Fallout Frontier mod. Oh, the Fallout of the Frontier is so bad, bro.
What happened with that one?
So, it ended up just being kind of a shit show, right? Because they sort of feature crept themselves into getting much bigger than it should have been. However, there was also one person on the team that had a bit of a fetish. A couple fetishes.
Okay.
So at one point in the game, you meet a girl called America. And she is a child. And you turn her into your sex slave. And there are numerous dialogue options about sniffing her feet. There's also time where you meet a Deathclaw in a cave. And one of the options is to fuck the Deathclaw, and that is a genuine option. Like there's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And ignoring the fact that the mod was just like bad in general, that one part like set a lot of people off because it had like a team of people that were not into that, let's say.
I mean,
Wiki says America was in her 20s. They started upping the age as time went on.
We just slowly tick the number up, guys.
But America uses the child model in Fallout. So, were they making a porn game? No. Their excuse later on was that all of those things were supposed to only happen if you had the Wild Wasteland perk, which in Fallout makes like really weird shit happen, like aliens, and one of the famous ones is a flaming Yaogwai bear comes attacking you. And their excuse was, oh, we just made a mistake. It was supposed to be part of Wild Wasteland. Nobody believes that. It was people with fetishes.
Listen, you're not gonna be, it's De Niro, right? I always forget his name. You're not gonna be De Niro. You're not gonna be the Godfather.
Yeah. But, so do we want to read the start of this?
Yes. I'm like going through the character thing again. It's like most of it is him just explaining, basically doing what I did as a kid and writing my character bio in my manifesto. And it's like, you don't need all this, bro. It didn't have to be 70 pages, but because you wanted to be stupid.
Yeah. Later, though, I'll have to send you a video on Fallout Frontier so you can enjoy the shit show that happened. It was wild.
All right.
It has come to my attention that a document like this is long overdue for this project moving forward. I will start this story with an admission. I have a problem. A problem that existed long before I started this project. That problem is communication. Now I'm unable to determine exactly why I am unable to communicate my ideas and perspectives in a palatable way so anyone can understand my thought process. But that will not stop me from trying my hardest to explore everything related to this story, these characters, and the overall messaging and themes that I want this game to tackle over the course of the next year of work. Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, I was like, okay, buddy.
Yeah, I just got caught in like a yawn.
No, not you. Just this dot.
Yeah.
It's not the first.
And yes, chat, they do refer to it as their manifesto. I don't know why they chose that word, but you know.
Because some people think they're more important than they think they are. That's literally it.
Yeah. I apologize for not creating this sooner, but catalytic events over the last few weeks have forced me to actually sit down and write this from start to finish, in hopes that I can do no more and leave the rest up to those who read it to determine whether or not they agree with my vision and direction. The purpose of this document is to outline the vision I wish to express with this project. If you determine by the end of the document that you're unable to see the vision and you are not confident in my role as a director, I would respect your perspective, but also ask that you allow me and the rest of the team to continue working on this unified vision without argumentation, not contention getting in the way of production. I wish to expand upon the vision outlined, not reimagine it. I've decided to format this in a way that tells a story rather than laying out the info in a boring clinical chart that connects the dots. You probably should do that, you know, because that's a lot clearer for everybody.
The chart says. I'm so sorry. This is so dumb. There's a reason why I like titled this like the dumbest doc of 2016, because again, why are we doing this for a fan game? It's either cancel it or not.
Yeah.
You're either on the team or not.
In order for you to understand my perspective, I need you to understand where this story originated from, why I created the characters, what the purpose is for the story, and how I want to what the fuck? How I want to defy history with all of you talented people and make a game that not only mirrors Danganronpa, but exceeds far beyond and turns into its own story and property that inspires those in the same way Danganronpa inspired me to start this project. The fuck?
I told you this was bad.
But me and Kendra had this discussion early on, and I said I would consider Danganronpa a fairly popular series, if for no other reason than it got like 6 or 7 games and 2 anime and all this other stuff. Like, it's not the biggest series, right? It's not a Final Fantasy, but there are some games that never get a sequel, much less, you know, like 5 or 6 games down the line. So in that regard, it is a large enough series. But it's still niche. It still only appeals to like a super niche like group of people, right? What are you talking about? Defy history?
Oh, you'll understand. You'll understand later in this. It's so stupid.
Oh, I've created a table of contents so that you can follow the story at your own pace or skip to the parts you might care about the most. My recommendation is to read through this in its entirety, from start to finish. I'll thank you for taking the time to start this journey with me, and I hope that this document clears up any and all confusion about what my vision and direction is. So, our table of contents is Danganronpa, the flawed masterpiece, Walking Through the Garden of Eden, which is very pretentious. Holy shit.
Oh, this line, I want you to remember that specifically.
They have this one part called intermission. By the way, just so you know, intermission is normally supposed to happen like halfway through a document or something. Not like right at the start. Don't know why you have your intermission right at the start. The world beyond our reach. The characters, who is Kasuro Tadashi. The story, how far we'll go. The gameplay, problems with visual novels. In conclusion, and then addendum, our questions answered. Thank you, Archmagos, for the membership. Hail Mizu, stay frosty. I blame Kendra for psychic damage.
Listen, I didn't even know about this until like 2 or 3 days ago. I needed to share this with someone. I was supposed to be on break today. But this didn't need to be paused any longer.
The intro is already half the plot, pretty much, yeah. So is there anyone we want to skip ahead to specifically?
No. We can start with the flawed masterpiece.
Oh my god, that first bold text. So would Kendra like to read the first page for us?
Yes, I would love to. Danganronpa, the flawed masterpiece. Now this is going to sound like it's completely off topic for this next section, but I promise you it all connects. I love video games, I love movies, and I love music. But I hate anime. If I had to guess where my general animosity towards anime originates from, my best guess would be from over a decade ago, where I tried to watch Dragon Ball Z episodes. They were interesting in terms of the art style and actual animations, but I came to the conclusion that 95% of the scenes between Goku and Vegeta involved them staring at the camera and breathing heavily. I knew I had no patience for that bullcrap and shut it off immediately.
That's not like an anime thing, though. That was a thing at the time to save money because they had to like produce this shit weekly. They had like ridiculous deadlines.
Clearly from this first paragraph you can tell that's not their reasoning.
And the thing is, Western cartoons did this too. However, the way they did it, and there's a joke about this in Invincible, where the guy talks to Invincible the whole time, but you only ever see the back of his head. And he does like this whole speech about how they save money by not showing characters' faces so they don't have to animate the mouse moving or the facial expressions. That's how it was with like kids' cartoons back in the day, right? They would just do these little like talking segments where you never really saw anybody's face. And it's basically the same thing that Dragon Ball would do with like the breathing heavily at each other. It's just they filled it with like unimportant lines and filler that didn't mean anything.
Or they did do it like that because it was supposed to be dramatic. And of course, like a 10-year-old's gonna not understand the full complexity of that until maybe they're older. And even then, it's just like, if you don't understand it, that's it.
Yeah, there's Dr. Claw and Inspector Gadget. But I think about Transformers, because I watched Transformers as a kid. There is a whole bunch of Transformers that is just Optimus and Megatron shouting at each other. But because Optimus doesn't even have a mouth, it's just like his head bobbing up and down very slightly for like a solid 10 minutes at a time. Like, that was just how it happened for like cartoons back at the day. It wasn't just an anime thing. Kendra already spoiled this next part for me, but now she's going to tell it all to you guys.
I never attempted to re-engage with the genre until my late teens, with one of my favorite animated series, Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. If these shows don't count as anime, then my opinion must have not actually changed upon further reflection. And there were a number of factors that led to me feeling so invested in those shows. The story, direction, the world building, the character arts, the developing relationships between the characters, and more importantly, the messages that were being conveyed by the creators of the shows.
I just like the only anime I like are Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra.
Considering like the recent like Korra discourse that everyone collectively agree. What is it this morning? And even earlier, people were talking about Korra and like just how sometimes the writers were just weird and had weird priorities. Like how for some reason they were like, well, you see, the reason why Katara, They were saying Katara has parallels with this one character where she spiritually saved her virginity for Aang.
I'm not gonna make a comment on that.
And then recently, was it this morning, literally? Fire Lord Ozai and Fire Lord Sozin. It's like, oh, you see, clearly, Fire Lord Sozin is a bad guy because he outlawed gay marriage. Because the Fire Nation was totally progressive, guys. They were totally progressive before Sozin and Ozai got into the reins, but because he outlawed gay marriage, that's what made him a bad guy. Korra was like, that guy is the worst.
You know, Korra actually does do that at one point, which doesn't make any sense, because Korra is not revealed to be lesbian until, like, the last minute of the entire series.
Well, these are the comics where we can actually get away with that. Yeah. Listen, this is the same comic series where literally this is like the same literal comic series where Korra's parents are like, yo, see, sweetie, we actually support you in your gay relationship.
And
however,
she's mad because they don't give her, like, more shit.
They're like, no, we're progressive and we actually understand you. However, the leaders wouldn't be against that. And they're not even telling her to, like, hide. They're just like, just know that the leaders aren't for that. And then she, like, abandons her parents because they weren't supportive of her. Despite the fact that they literally just said we are supportive.
It reminds me of that, God, what's fake Iron Man girl called? It's like a Riri something.
Oh, Riri. I know what you're talking about.
Where she's in school talking to the teacher, and she, like, goes on this speech about women's suffrage and shit, and the teacher's like, oh, that's wonderful, you can do all of that. And she's like, no, you're supposed to tell me that a woman can't do that. And she's like, well, no, like, women's suffrage was achieved, like, you know, decades ago, Riri. Women are allowed to do anything that men want to do. And she's like, no, you have to, like, oppress me.
You're talking about the Ironheart comics. Yeah. Everyone collectively agrees. Because it's the same guy who wrote the original Miles Morales line. Because everyone knows that the Miles Morales and Riri's first comics sucked. This guy cannot write a good black character. This guy probably can't write. But at least other talented writers actually got a hold of them and made them good stories. But the problem is that I think there's a problem with this guy specifically.
I mean, Riri, like, her entire story is that she stole Tony Stark's shit, and then she's like, that makes me a good superhero. Like, I wonder what person in the writer's room was like, we have our first black Iron Man, and he's gonna get his suit by stealing it.
Never mind the fact that, like, and I had to, like, go out of my way, which, by the way, I find it funny how the comic community is always like, yeah, no, piracy is so easy on our side compared to manga, and it's like, no, it ain't. I had to, like, search for, like, 2 years because I was doing it on and off to, like, find an actual pirated copy of Ironheart's first issue. And I collectively agree after reading some of the first chapters. Yeah, no, the person who wrote her clearly set her up to be a villain without realizing he set her up to be a villain. And it took, again, better writers to be like, no, she was just egotistical and cocky as a kid.
Yeah.
Pay no mind to that first issue.
But it's basically the same thing that happened with Korra, where it's like, no, you have to oppress me. I have to be oppressed. Like, I can't have supportive parents. What is this bullshit? You're supposed to hate gay people, Mom and Dad. Also, Korra literally killed all the other avatars, so fuck that bitch.
Oh yeah, no, here's the thing. Regardless of even if Korra's series was good or not, everyone would have just hated her for that alone. It's like, no.
Typically, you're either an Avatar fan or you're a Korra fan, but you're not normally both.
Yeah. Listen, I say this because I was hyped for Korra without any internet discourse. I thought that love triangle was garbage.
Oh yeah, a lot of people started hating Korra, like, as it went on. Because, like, even at the start, it was kind of fine. But then you start going through all this stuff, like, okay, now we have a love triangle, now Korra's a cripple, now we're just doing, like, slice of life anime with these two yandere chicks and Korra's ex-boyfriend. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
I still think Mako's a massive cuck, because in the comics, they literally make him, like, the supportive best friend despite having dated both of them. And I literally just headcanon that he just has a conversation one day of being like, yeah, both of my girlfriends used to date me and then they broke up and then they dated each other. Of course I'm super supportive of that.
To be fair, at least they gave him 2 yandere baddies to work with, so it's not as rough for him.
They just made him Zuko if Zuko was a cuck. I'm sorry. I will still live with that.
Zuko is a cuck in the comics.
No. Zuko still ends up with somebody, and even then, I'm talking about main series, because Mako's still a cuck in the originals in Korra, and he's still a cuck in the comics.
Fair.
Let's continue with this beautiful masterpiece. Clearly,
is this fucking Star Wars: The Old Republic? Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic 2. Why we got pictures of Knights of the Old Republic in this? Also, thank you, Internet Zen. No Kendra. By all accounts, from every comic guy I've talked to, Ironheart is still irredeemable garbage. Miles Morales is only one of Bendy's black characters that is redeemable. I am genuinely wondering how we're reading a document about a Danganronpa fan game, and somehow fucking Knights of the Old Republic 2 comes in.
Let's read and see. It was these shows that made me finally believe that fictitious animated content could truly move and inspire someone to change their views or beliefs in the real world.
Are you a boomer?
Can I be real with you? He sounds like a theater kid.
A little bit, but also a little bit like a boomer. Like, can you believe people watch these cartoons? Yes? What? How old are you that you didn't think animated content could be meaningful? That's just weird. Why are you making a game?
Those lessons learned can be used in practice to better your life choices. The concept of fictional material being made to inspire change in perspective also bled over into video games and their story/characters as well. One of the most influential games of my childhood was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords, mainly due to the backstories and personalities of all the companions you can recruit in the game. If you don't want to be spoiled, skip to the next page entirely. I will be discussing plot points for the game since they inspire me on a deeper level more than any movie or show has in my life, and I feel that it is important to elaborate on as to why and how.
Remember, chat, this isn't just a Google Doc about this. This was basically his pitch Bible for how the story of the game was supposed to go. Just keep that in mind. This is the pitch Bible.
The pitch manifesto. We're not reading. If you want to pause to read this, you can pause and read this. We're skipping this. On to page 6. My point in referencing different works that have inspired me is to illustrate exactly what had formed my views and understanding of the world to this day, and one inspiring work of no particular importance is the Danganronpa franchise. I was led to play the first installment after I had a friend of mine recommended to me when I posed the question of what's a good anime game that you want to see my reaction to. This was back in late 2016, and I remember clearly how I felt while playing for the first few hours. Oh no. 2016 was when the Danganronpa V3, and I think it was V3 was around being announced or released, but Danganronpa 3, the anime, had came out.
It says that he played Trigger Happy Havoc.
Yes, I'm talking about during the timeline of events.
Oh, fair.
I hate Danganronpa. I'm sorry.
Again, remember, this is a pitch Bible for a Danganronpa fan game.
Correction. I hated Danganronpa.
I always forget about the pink blood.
Oh yeah, no, everybody loves the pink blood. Past tense statement, because obviously this project wouldn't exist if I kept that same belief. but I remember disliking every moment of Trigger Happy Havoc for at least the first few hours of gameplay. I couldn't tell if it was because of the way the exposition was presented, or the fact that the game showed 15 different characters at you for the first half hour, and you're expected to not only remember all their names, but actually start caring about them. Maybe this was a gameplay formula that I was not familiar with, and so I have to recalibrate my brain to take in any and all information given to me so early on in the story without losing track of what has been said. But on my first playthrough, I found the task more difficult than imagined. That is, up until the first case murder is committed.
To be fair, in a killing game, you're not normally supposed to care about every single character. Particularly whoever is the first one to die, you're not supposed to care about them. They're supposed to be the establishing, this is serious, people will actually die character. Which is why it's funny that it's Sayaka Mizuno.
Yeah, okay, so fun fact, do you know why she was actually the first one killed?
Why?
So she was the first one killed because she and Leon were the test subjects of the original demos and stuff, even back when it was called Distrust.
Yeah.
When it was a lot more darker and grittier and the blood was red and stuff. And the developers got so sick of them that they were like, we're gonna kill you off first so we can stop seeing you.
God, I'm tired of this bitch. She's going first.
I'm sick of you, you're too pretty. I'm sick of you, you're too radical. Kill them at the same time.
But yeah, no, he's like, I'm supposed to remember all of these people? No, you're not. You're actually supposed to, first off, you're not supposed to care about whoever dies first. But second off, you're supposed to learn about them as the game goes on.
The only guy who will ever care about Mizuno more than anybody else in this entire fan base is that Toby guy.
It's Tubin Jacobs.
Guy. Yeah. And that's only because he's I kind of think she's cute. I haven't even played the games. I just like Sayaka's design and I love her so much. And listen, based.
I don't know. He said since then he doesn't actually like Sayaka Mizuno. He just did it as a meme. Well, to be fair, it was a good meme.
It was a good meme. I know he released a short recently where he was like, yeah, I kind of actually like her a lot more because she's it wasn't somebody she's what is it? He said basically I liked her design and I was like, heck, why not? And then he still likes her, but he just hasn't played the games.
Yeah. Now he just makes 40-foot tall cutouts of Mori's feet.
And this was the point in the game that made me fall in love with it. And not because I enjoyed looking at the scene of the murder, but rather because I saw that it was written in blood on the wall behind Sayaka in this scene. Immediately I recognized it as Leon's name written upside down. Now, no one told me that I wasn't supposed to figure this out within the first few seconds, so I just thought the game was giving me a softball answer to who did this. I hate people that always do this every single time. We just had a discussion about this earlier. His name is written upside down in English because this is a Japanese game. Of course, an English speaker is gonna recognize that his name is Leon. Unless you speak Japanese and have only seen hiragana, katakana, and kanji, you're not gonna pick up on that immediately. That's it. Yeah. That's literally it. Oh my gosh.
Forgetting that it's a Japanese game to start with. But second off, not because I enjoy looking at the scene of a murder. The fact that you chose to say it, right? Nobody was going to question you. But because you said it out loud, now I have to. Now I have to be like, oh.
That's a weird thing to say.
What an interesting thing to clarify. Can confirm the pattern, the class rep who dies first in Euphoria was a complete non-entity. Yeah, whoever dies first is typically supposed to not fucking matter. Yeah. It's supposed to just establish that this is real and people will actually die. So you know, from a meta perspective, so that everyone takes it seriously. Also, it's the first chapter, so it's going to be a lot easier to solve before the reveal. That's also true. That annoys me with some people that play games that are like, I don't understand. Like, the first chapter was so easy, and then everything after that got harder. It's like, yes! That's game. That's how it's supposed to work.
Congrats, you graduated from literal kiddie baseball to the major leagues.
Mizu doesn't get the reference. I know the reference. I've watched Euphoria. I hate Euphoria. I hate it about the same reason that I hate school days, but you know, you do you.
What is it? Let's continue. But when the game proceeded to tell me that it was written on the wall, it's actually the number 11037, I was utterly baffled at the notion that I'm not supposed to make the connection in my own. Now I can't lie and say that this wasn't infuriating to me. The fact that the game was slower than me to understand the context of this clue, oh my gosh. But I gave up caring about it very quickly, and instead decided to focus on the rest of the investigation for this upcoming class trial. And this is where I found the magic of the game. It's in the discovery. Brother, play a Phoenix Wright game. Oh my gosh. Just play a Phoenix Wright. Taking all of the separate clues out of context and piecing them together in order to create a seamless, coherent narrative for how the murderer carried out their plot. It was beautiful, and the most intricate the plot was it. And the more intricate the plots, the more invested I became with trying to solve them and move forward with the overarching story. Every class trial was an event I looked forward to, even if I hadn't the slightest idea who was the murderer for the chapter in the game. I have played a lot of video games over the course of my life so far, and none have given me the same feeling that Danganronpa has over the course of the last few years. There's something to this formula where you put people into a despairing situation, force horrible things to happen, and then try to solve everything by putting all the jigsaw pieces together. Except those jigsaw pieces are fired at statements being yelled at the other characters. And at the end of solving every mystery, there is this feeling of hope where even though bad things happened, you still felt like you were in control when going step by step to figure out who was behind it all. And there is a feeling of relief knowing that there can be closure of this event. But like the eye of a hurricane, the calm will eventually pass.
Ace Attorney, play Professor Layton. There's like a bajillion other games that do this. But
Danganronpa. My thing is, like, you can be inspired by like the first of the genre if you really like it that much. But this guy acts like he just struck gold on that diamond and was like, you know what? I hated this game, and I hated the fact that chapter 1 was just chapter 1, but I was inspired.
Yeah.
So let's be inspired right now.
Continues with, why weren't more stories using a formula similar to this? There are. Why weren't there any other video games trying to replicate the magic felt from this one? There's like 6 other Danganronpas. So there's a lot doing this. Was it by this point in the like franchise, there was Danganronpa 1, Super Danganronpa 2, V3 was gonna come out, and the original anime came out already by then. Yeah. And then the conclusion with Danganronpa 3, like all of that was already out. It's like, just go play Super Danganronpa 2. Internet Zen, thank you for the super. Whoever recommended this game to this tryhard should be smacked. They should have recommended something simple instead, like Blaze Blue. I know you know. Or if you know, you know.
I've never seen Boys Blue.
So how come in the last few years the Danganronpa community has grown exponentially, despite the fact that the studio said they would not work on another installment? All these questions led me to dead ends, and I was completely unsatisfied arriving at that conclusion. So that's when I decided that I wanted to fill that void. Not because I love Danganronpa, because I still think there are a number of glaring issues with the game and franchise as a whole, but rather to do what nobody else is doing, or at least what no team has ever come close to accomplishing. I saw a diamond in the rough, a gameplay formula replacing that of the Danganronpa series, paired with fresh, comprehensive story that focuses on something deeper than that of the inspired material. would attract both fans and non-fans of the series. I wanted to bridge the divide and to make a game using Danganronpa as my roadmap for how to deliver my messages, my ideas, and most importantly, my inspiration to the players. My hope was to help those who didn't know they needed the wisdom that I possess, and if I can deliver all this through the project, then anything more in life is just a bonus. Why is it the fucking Windows wallpaper?
You know why Danganronpa was over. The reason why Danganronpa grew in popularity again was because the literal conclusion of the series was the anime and V3.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
And there are other games. Like, even though the one like I showed you the stream on was probably bad, right? There are other like killing games. There's Zenkai series. There's I don't know, would you consider like some of the sort of battle royale anime series to be sort of killing games? Or do you think it needs like this investigation aspect?
What is it? Because like the thing is like with most like killing game type series is like most of them are like based on battle royale, which is basically like the original like killing game, and then you got stuff like Hunger Games. Like there's got to be like specific criteria and stakes to it of characters you're supposed to like want to get to know and you want to like survive. And you can have like battle royale games, but it's kind of like a squares and rectangle situation. Not like all killing games are battle royale games. Like they can be, but they're not. You know what I mean?
But no, it's just like there really are other games in this series. You just have to actually give a shit about Japanese stuff, because it's really just the Japanese guys that are making them.
Yeah, not only that, but it's like the reason why Danganronpa it is the way it is because the creators were inspired by internet culture. Yeah. You don't understand internet culture, you're not going to understand Danganronpa. This is literally a game for otakus by otakus.
Exactly. So now we're walking through the Garden of Eden.
What is it? El Ringo says, "Holy moly, I wish I had that level of self-confidence." You and me both, buddy.
Yeah. I wanted the first story I ever worked on in a professional sense to be something that would be impactful yet timeless. And all the books to ever exist in human history, it looked. Why? What is wrong with you?
I was wondering when you were gonna notice.
Genuinely, what is wrong with you?
Did I forget to mention that he wanted this to be based on the Bible?
All the books to ever exist in human history, it looked like the Bible was the bestseller of timeless stories. Not necessarily the stories themselves that make it so popular, but rather the takeaways from the stories that the reader has and how those ideas can be used to influence their own actions in life. Whether you actively practice a religion or you don't care at all, there's no denying that the Bible seems to convey some universal messages about the human condition and perspective statements for how we ought to conduct ourselves throughout our lifetimes. Oh, God. You know what's a great inspiration for my game about a bunch of teenagers killing each other and trying to get away with it? The Bible.
Oh my gosh.
This one goes out to you, baby Jesus. Proper inspiration.
You know, sometimes I wonder, I read this, sometimes I wonder if Angie wrote this. You know what, guys? If you know about Danganronpa, you know about Angie. And if you know what Angie is, maybe Angie was the one who wrote this doc. So to clarify, Angie is this religious, like, cult, like, a leader in Danganronpa. She's the ultimate art.
Thank you, Linda Underling, for the super. V3 ended very clearly saying, "No more Danganronpa games. I'm tired of it." But the last line in the entire game is, "But that might be a lie."
Listen, the only thing we've ever gotten from Danganronpa since is spin-offs, and even the new Super Danganronpa 2 remake is just the same game but with upgraded sprites, and oh hey, we're gonna change the murderers around because that'd be cool.
So here's the thing, right? It's not necessarily bad to be inspired by Bible stories. Because if you look at sort of a lot of stories throughout history, a lot of them take inspiration from stuff like the Bible or stuff like the Odyssey. They kind of take inspiration from these really old historical stories, and then repackage them into something new. Garden of Eden is used conceptually all the fucking time in stories. Samson is used all the time in stories. Like, stuff sort of related to it kind of deal. I like to think of, Narnia is literally a Jesus allegory. The whole thing.
It's pretty... Like, the creator... I'm not sure if the creator is confirmed or denied it, but, like, it's pretty... Like, if he didn't... It's still pretty blatant.
Yeah. Like, it's not wrong to take inspiration from it. But the way they word it doesn't make it sound like they give a shit about the Bible as a story. They just kind of care that the Bible is popular. You know? Like, well, the Bible's popular. I'll just kind of borrow some shit from that. That's how it feels to me. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's how it sounds. There's a surprising amount of eroge that take heavy inspirations from the Bible. That there is.
Yes.
Japan seems to love biblical stories for some reason.
Not shocking. They have actually next to Buddhism, Catholic, I don't know how to say it. Being Catholic is also like the second highest religion. Yes, it is the second highest religion there.
Yeah.
And then Christianity is like below that.
Also, chat mentions C.S. Lewis has confirmed Aslan isn't an allegory, he just is Jesus. I thought the devil was the lion, not Jesus. No, the lion's meant to be Jesus.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. What is it? Granted, it's been so long.
He literally dies and comes back for somebody else's sins. Like, unironically, somebody commits like a heinous crime, and Aslan lets himself be killed to free him from his crimes, and then he gets resurrected the day after.
Sometimes you just gotta let a lion. You gotta let Jesus the lion heal your sins.
Oh yeah, Jody mentioned it, but apparently C.S. Lewis and Tolkien actually did send letters to each other back and forth about like their stories.
Listen, great minds think alike.
Well, like there's a huge collection of letters from Tolkien to other writers, either with like praise or condemnation of their work. I'll be honest, if I was a writer and I knew, like, in modern day with how successful Tolkien is, that he shit on my work, I would just quit. Is Gandalf Jesus? Possible. But, if this book can witness the births and deaths of nations across the world and still remain one of, if not the most influential narrative on the planet, then there must be some value to the content. You see, that just affirms what I said even more. You just like the Bible because it's popular.
Keep reading. We gotta keep reading.
There must be some value to the content contained on the pages, but here's my problem. I don't like reading. Last time I read a book is when I was 14, and it was How to Win Friends and Influence People. You had some fucking issues, bro. Thank you, Internet Zen, for the super. C.S. Lewis was very open about his biblical allegories in multiple Narnia books, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Aslan is Jesus incarnate in that series. Tolkien ribbed C.S. Lewis hard for it. He hated allegories. Thank you for that, Internet Zen. Yeah, it's not that the last time you read was when you were 14. Because the last time I read was probably a solid like 5 or 6 years ago myself, other than Google Docies. It's what you read. it's specifically what you read.
This is like a meme that you got dating advice from Andrew Tate. Not even like from like a Andrew Tate book. I mean specifically through Andrew Tate himself. He sat down on the couch with you. Was it El Ringo?
Yeah, you know, I don't have much experience in dating, but I did take a course with Andrew Tate once, so, you know, kind of an expert. So in the last 9 years, I haven't touched a book, let alone had the patience to sit and read through paragraphs of text on a subject I couldn't care less about. So even though the Bible must contain a lot of important symbolism and messaging in the stories within, I doubt I would care enough to sit down and scan the pages looking for them of my own accord. Oh.
You gotta remember, he said, I don't like reading. Why did you sit through Danganronpa? How are you able to sit through Danganronpa? I hated Danganronpa. I hate reading.
What is... That's why I started writing a story based on biblical allegory, because I knew there were more people like me out there in the world, people who would never open up a book and read the stories contained within. We live in a digital world where most of our content and entertainment today comes in visually stimulating, attention-grabbing forms of media like movies, episodic video series, and most importantly, video games. It's one of the reasons why I'm so invested in film, because so many people are willing to listen to your story if you present it in a short, digestible manner. What are you talking about? You refuse to read the Bible, so you're gonna make a video game that uses Bible stories because you know other people also aren't gonna read the Bible.
Not only that, why would I play your Danganronpa Fangame when I can just go to my local streaming service and just put on the... What is it? Go to Barnes & Noble, buy the Bible myself, or just go to Netflix and just put on The Passion of Christ.
I'm so confused. They sell picture Bibles, by the way.
I've seen like a couple of comic Bibles, like genuinely, like really, they are stunning. Okay, why would I do that? Why would I pick up your Danganronpa fan game? You don't even like the Bible, from what I've seen. You don't even really want to read it.
Oh, what is this person? This is like, not a real person.
I grew up religious. I still am religious, and I'm just like, why would I read you?
My plan is not to copy the stories straight out of the Bible verbatim and use them to structure the plot of a killing game. Trust me, I'm not insane. What I actually want to do is take the takeaways from those stories and find a way to deliver them in story arcs that take place in this killing game. The same way that I referenced the delivery of the message, apathy is death, earlier in this manifesto. That was probably related to Star Wars things that we kind of skipped over a little bit.
Yeah, it was in the, he said, basically that was one of the famous lines he loved from it.
I want to deliver the gift of life lessons related to the human condition in a wrapping paper of despairful killing game story inspired by Danganronpa. You're a fucking weirdo, dude.
Put on the Passion of Christ.
Oh, what? What lessons are you taking out of the Bible because you're not even reading them? Like, I don't understand how we're getting from point A to point B.
That's my thing with it, because again, like, I grew up religious, and even, like, not even just religious, like, we grew up with the Bible, and, like, we learned, like, what is it? Like, first natural and spiritual. And so you have to apply it, but you don't have to, like, apply it to everything. And if you're, and we were, like, trained from, like, when we were, like, I want to say around, like, probably, like, 8 and 9 and stuff. I'm able to comprehend it as an 8 and 9-year-old because I had a good teacher teach us. This is your first time picking up a Bible in your life.
Yeah.
And being like, I don't really understand with 7 sons of Skiba. What's a 7? What's a son? And what's a Skiba? Because that's what you sound like right now.
Yeah.
I write for the illiterate.
If you go back and look at the original Danganronpa, there was evidence that this goal was already something the creators attempted with the very structure of their kill. What do you mean?
I'm confused.
The motivations of each chapter were used to illustrate the different ways that society could influence someone to commit a heinous act. It provided the right motivation to do so. The issue I had with their attempt was when we got to the finale of Danganronpa and we were informed of the mastermind's motivation for setting up the killing game. Junko Enoshima was a villain who created this game for the sake of boredom, because despair makes the world exciting. That was the point, though.
So the whole thing with Junko's character, and you find out from later like material in the game and in like just the shows and everything, is that Junko was basically a genius and no one understood her genius. And she was so smart that basically everything in the world was boring. She was always able to get easy success and fame pretty fast. But there's also hints that, yeah, she's going through like a lot of trauma in her life because like her mother died young and she pretends not to care. And then there's the whole thing with how she killed her sister. And she's like, oh, truly, I feel bad for it, but it's despair inducing. And it's like, it's very clear that you are messed up by that, along with everything else you've done up till now. But you know, you would kind of know that just because you interacted with the franchise. Not only that, even with everything I just stated, sometimes people just want to make someone who's just evil. That's it. It's supposed to be about the charisma. Sometimes you just gotta make a scar, make them charismatic as possible, and then just have them play it up. Doesn't need to be the biggest allegory in the world. It's, I made them evil and I made them funny.
Thank you, Noir, for the super. That's literally just the Old Testament in a nutshell. Stories meant to teach life lessons. Also, I put a band-aid on my arm where I cut it, but the cut was too long for the band-aid, so I just kind of used the adhesive on parts of the cut, and now I'm realizing that was a horrendous idea. Shit, fuck. Hurts. That was a bad idea. I didn't think that all the way through. Lesson 7, wipe out your enemies. Happened to my arm. I bumped into a box that had something poking out of it that just like cut down my arm, so that was fun.
Soul chat while Mizu's dealing with his own torture.
My own ultra despair.
Talk so far? Yes. You know what? This is our despair. Forget about the most tragic thing in all of human history. This is our tragedy. Oh.
Sorry, one of my friends messaged me. They finally got their Discord back after they clicked on a hacked link. Thank you, Internet Zen, for the super. I'm 13 and this is super deep energy. Lord in heaven, this guy would get lost reading through Genesis alone.
There's a reason why, like, Junko is the way she is, because if you make Junko a nuanced character, then that defeats the whole point of the killing game. Yeah. Like, there's a reason why, like if you want nuance, go to Jigsaw, and even then, it's still point blank, you are torturing people.
Where was I? Oh yeah, this was a missed opportunity. This is a missed opportunity, and I want to seize it. We can create a villain motivated by more than just malicious intent. A mastermind with the drive to make a point with their motivations for their... You really do just want to play the fucking Saw games. Motivations that purposely put the human condition on full display, exemplifying the gray areas that surround our interpersonal relationships and life experiences. And it shouldn't just end with the motivations to kill themselves. but further divide into how we can create subplots surrounding the cast unrelated to the killing game that might push similar messages of hope and perseverance in the face of utter despair. Now, to make another thing ultra clear, I don't believe that every message in this story should be one that solves a problem that the characters face or conquer. Rather, I want messages that force the player to think about what the answer could be. Have the message send you down a path of self-reflection. I want players to walk away from this game with less questions directed towards the game and more questions that they direct towards themselves.
So just Danganronpa, it's just Danganronpa.
They are...
Just go replay Danganronpa.
This is 3 deep 5 me, man. But yeah, this is, they literally do just want, like, a Saw movie. So questions I'd like to see from players while playing this game. Is this something I would disagree with? If I was in this situation, how would I have dealt with it? Why can't these situations be simpler to solve? How do I feel about the decisions made here? What was the purpose of this test? Motivation, punishment. Statements I would like to see from players while playing this game. Wow, I hadn't thought of that before. Man, that's a tough situation. I don't know what the right answer is here. I can totally understand both sides to this. This is a new take for me. I'll think about this one. I love that this story forces you to deal with the difficult dilemmas and no clear answers. Look, when you have a game about teenagers stabbing each other in the face, there's only so much nuance you can put into it.
My thing is, he's literally just describing Danganronpa. He literally just wants to replay the first game.
Yeah.
Just play Danganronpa 2, bro.
Ugh. Was the fan game even good before it got canned? It only had 2 chapters, a chapter 0 and a chapter 1.
A lot of it was really iffy from what I looked into. We'll get into it when we read some of the characters, if we can make it that far.
My personal opinion is that these questions and statements above are the goals that I wish to achieve with my story plot characters in this killing game. I don't want a hope versus despair conflict because life is more complicated than just binary issues.
People always want to make, they killed them so, it's so complicated. And it's like, yeah, no. Stealing is complicated. Killing someone is not complicated. You either killed them or you didn't. Was it self-defense? No? Yes? That's it. That's how it is. It's not that complicated.
It's like that girl from last night. You know, the nuance of revenge for victim. Okay.
The nuance of rage.
I'm so glad it tackles such a nuanced subject this well, like sexual assault. Guys, you don't understand. They need to see the nuance of teenagers killing each other.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Please tell me. The only thing to top this off is if he aged up everybody. That'd be really funny.
That would send it. That would send me. There are angles and perspectives outside our own, each with different lenses that examine the issues under varying degrees of light. And I want the player to feel as if none of the solutions are most effective or the best option in the story. There can be binary issues in the story. I'm not saying to outlaw them all from ever presenting themselves to the player, but I want a majority with the more impactful story arcs at the forefront to be dealing with these issues in a nuanced manner that doesn't treat the world like an X versus Y scenario. The conflicts leading up to the final moments of this story should prepare the player for an important topic to handle, and one that I think is the most crucial message that I need the story to hammer into the minds of the players. There is no great secret. There is no magic answer. There is only you. You thought that was super deep, and they just sound retarded.
This guy is so pretentious. Kodaka literally has a Twitter account, and all he does is like hype himself up and hype up his fan base, and just is like, yeah, killing game, and I want to do otaku things. This guy's literally this really is a manifesto.
Thank you, Internet Zen, for the super. I want players to question themselves. Oh great, it's Spec Ops The Line all over again. This guy is the kind who would force players to pick the bad choice. There's a reason that game is hated. To be fair, people love Spec Ops and The Line back in the day, but nowadays a lot of people see it for what it is. It's just cringe moralizing.
Oh my gosh.
Only you can prevent forest fires. Person seems like the type to think Evangelion has deep symbolism. True. In reality, it's all about Anno's daddy issues with Miyazaki.
My unresolved Miyazaki issues.
It's about his unresolved Miyazaki issues with Christian symbolism just because it looks badass.
What is it? Legit, I thought Mizu was gonna say, and there is no Queen of England.
A couple people in my chat said there's no Queen of England. There is no great secret, there is no magic answer, and there is no Queen of England. People were posting that clip the fucking day she died, by the way. Literally, an hour after she died, I saw that post all over Twitter.
There really is no Queen of England.
Oh. The player is left on their own to discover the most despairing revelation that the story can deliver. Our protagonist was destined to die from the start, so you're killing the main character from the start. Thank you for the...
Oh, you continue. Oh, what is it? The thing is that V3 did that, so you're kind of late to the party.
Yeah. From the very beginning, the protagonist knows that so long as he is a participant of the killing game, there is no solution for his problem. In the same way that we all, as humans, must meet our fate one day and come face to face with our own mortality. The protagonist deals with all of the conflicts spanning the game, knowing that he is doomed from the start. But why? What message does this leave the player with? My answer is simple. This is a problem that everyone on the planet has or will deal with. If I can convince the player that life is still worth living, though, with Damon... Did you fucking name him Damon?
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Even though you're aware of the impending doom of your mortality, then maybe players can walk away with reduced anxiety revolving death and the confidence to move through life fighting all of the problems they will eventually face. You are not going to convince a bunch of edgy teenagers to not fear death.
My thing is that Danganronpa already did that. This guy is literally trying to reinvent Danganronpa.
If I can help even a single player learn this lesson from the protagonist, then I will have accomplished my mission with this story and project as a whole. Thank you, Internet Zen, for the super. From what I've heard of the late queen, she's probably laughing about that reaction on Twitter in the afterlife. She had a good sense of humor.
We are talking about the family that owns a golden Wii.
They own a golden Wii?
Oh yeah, Nintendo made them a custom solid gold Wii back when the Wii was new. It's the only Wii to ever exist. Like so, real gold.
They do have a random intermission. We arrived at what I consider the point of no return for this manifesto. And what will be a transition from talking broadly about the goals and inspiration of this project to specifics for the plot, characters, and goals / execution of these ideas. So this is just telling you, they're gonna, from here on out, they're gonna get into detail about everything.
Yes.
What the fuck is this picture?
He's laying the pieces. He's laying the pieces. I have no idea.
Thank you, Red Hair Cross, for the super. Unlike other mecha anime, mine is about the characters.
That's what they said about Darling in the Franxx and Guilty Crown, but you only remember it for the waifus.
True. So, do we want to do the world building, or like what part do you want to do? Because you've read through this.
What is it? I personally think, because we can do the world building, but like, it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo of him just trying to, again, advance. We literally could just jump around this and just go straight to the characters, because we could talk about the Etika stuff. we could just get that out of the way right now.
So how far down are the characters?
He details every character in the game.
Yeah, but like, where is that at? Oh, is it right here?
The characters who is Kurosura Tadashi.
Oh yeah, it starts here then. Is this our main character?
What is it? Yeah, it looks like it. Yup.
Wait, why does it say who is Kurosura Tadashi and then it says creating Damon Maitsu? It was very easy for me because in part Damon is me, in a sense. So you wanted to start here, I guess?
Yep.
You want to read?
Let's see. Let's go all the way down. Let's see.
It's page 26.
Yes, I'm trying to go back down because I have it up on my phone and to do quick scrolls and on the PC. What is it? Creating Damon Maitsu was easy for me because in part, Damon is me, in a sense. While I'm not a fan of self-inserts and narratives, I will make a point that all of the characters, in some part, are inspired by me in some way or shape. What Damon encapsulates is one of my more difficult personality traits for people to experience: lack of empathy.
I'm not gonna say anything. We're just gonna.
We're all thinking it. We're all thinking.
I'm just not gonna say anything. I discovered empathy at the age of 30 energy.
David starts the story painting the exact picture of what Ava believes. Ava's the other protagonist. Leads people to a person with no. So Danganronpa always has dual protagonists. So there's the self-insert protagonist, and then there's always like the ones who's like the second protagonist, who's usually like the smarter one, who's like helps the player character, and then the third
you mean the tutorial
protagonist. Kind of yes, kind of no. It's what is it? It's like how Professor Layton, and I always forget his. Why do I always forget his name? The little guy. How he's supposed to be like the starter, like little guy who's like the self-insert for the player, and then Layton's like, "Hey, you might want to look at this hint over here," or "Hey, I came to this conclusion, but somehow you're coming to the same conclusions as me." Basically, that kind of thing.
Have they ever had a deuteragonist in Danganronpa that betrayed you by the end, and you found out they were lying to you the whole time?
Kinda, yeah.
I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah, it's Danganronpa too. But we are not gonna talk about plot stuff. That'll ruin the twist. So,
fair.
Damon starts the story painting the exact picture of what Ava believes talent leads to: a person with no remorse or care for those lesser than themselves, and someone whose respect is only delivered from the value of a person's skill. Basically, if you have no greater talent or strength to distinctify you from the crowd, then Damon perceives you as having no intrinsic value at all. This is how Damon begins the story, and it's crucial that he does not end this way.
This person is kind of defining themselves as an absolute psychopath, by the way.
Can I tell you something that's really funny how he just described this? Do you know about Nagito Komaeda?
Vaguely.
This is exactly how Nagito talks in the actual series, and everyone collectively agrees that brother should be on medication because he's a literal psychopath.
Well, I mean, you're sitting here, you're telling me that you have you base this character off your lack of empathy, and that this character believes people that, like, aren't useful to society literally don't have value as humans. And... so crazy.
Literally, Nagito wrote this. Like, this is literally if Nagito had the reins of Danganronpa and literally was like, you know what? I'm gonna make the quote-unquote hope document. I'm gonna make my own Danganronpa killing game.
They're off my screen now, so I apologize for not knowing their name, but I saw it a minute ago with someone says, I have to watch these streams because it reminds me I'm not narcissism maxing enough. And I saw... It's so true. Like, I jokingly call myself a narcissist, and then I read some of these Google Docs, and I'm like, you genuinely don't know how to introspect at all. Like, you lack the ability to self-reflect. Like, just point blank. I genuinely don't think you can examine your own actions.
What is it? Can I, I'll be right back real quick. Is that okay?
Yeah, no, you run. Do whatever you gotta do. So chat, how's it going? How's everyone doing? The talk of hope and bagels. Are we the bad guy? But I hope everyone is doing well on this fine afternoon. Eating ham and bean soup? Do you make intentional music decisions for your streams? No, I just like playing the Mabinogi soundtrack. Up until now, I've been using a channel called Purple Cat, but I was having trouble where Purple Cat would occasionally get me copyright claimed for some reason. So I kind of stepped away from that. I was tired of getting copyright claimed all the time. Mizu West Coast confirmed. Am I going to try out Neverness to Everness? I probably am for sure. I don't know if I'm going to stick it out. It depends on how fun it is.
Nice car.
Thank you for the nice PP chat. Jokingly call myself a narcissist. Mizu, do you mean I've been jerking your ego all this time for nothing? Feeling better about myself listening to this. Maybe I'm a better person, I believe. If you think you're a narcissist, by very nature of considering the fact you might be a narcissist, you're likely not one. Because you are showing that you can self-reflect, and a lot of people with these issues genuinely cannot self-reflect. They cannot understand why how they act is inappropriate. Someone redeem the Dochi character. Cooking a new chili recipe? That's nice. Why do you dislike Attack on Titan? Attack on Titan did not have a plan after the first, 12 episodes. So for people who don't know, the lore with Attack on Titan was supposed to end without any Titan shifters. Titan shifters weren't supposed to be a thing. The Titans were supposed to be unexplained. They were supposed to break down the second wall, and Eren Yeager and his team were supposed to just die, and that was just the end of the series. But then it got really, really popular. So the writer was like, well, shit, I can't kill my characters because people like them. So I have to, like, ass pull a reason to keep the story going. So after that part, he is literally just winging it and trying to write in reasons for the story to continue. Which, I don't know if that's worse than what Naruto did or better. Because, for those who don't know how Naruto did it...
Oh my god.
Thank you for the Dojin character. But how Naruto did it was the writer, all he knew was that Naruto would end with Naruto and Sasuke having a big battle and culminating with them being friends again. And that is the only plan he had for Naruto. Everything in the middle, he just winged it. Like, some writers for some of the big shonen genuinely have no plan.
Booba.
Thank you for the booba. Like, a lot of the big shonen have no idea where they're going at all. They're just kind of winging it and hoping things work out in the end. You can tell Shippuden was free flow. Yeah. Didn't Kishimoto's editor rush him on the early arcs? I don't know. All I know is that that's the story he's told of the writing. Favorite anime of all time? Angel Beats. Angel Beats or Hellsing Ultimate. I unironically think they're both just as good as each other. You know where I'm going, it's not heaven. Oh, shit. Drop my thing. Oda knows how One Piece ends? Yeah, but they knew how Naruto ended too. Does Oda know how you get to the does Oda actually know how you get to the One Piece? I think there's a chance that he doesn't. Is Kendra taken to the great beyond by a set of headlights? I would like to point out that I think there's something going wrong with Shonen right now. Because both Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia had to release post-ending chapters because they both accidentally did cuck endings. So, like, Attack on Titan ends with Eren turning into a bird, sort of. It's implied he turns into a bird because now he can be free. And Mikasa gets married to somebody else, and people hated that so much that now Attack on Titan ends with the three of them in, like, modern day, sort of. And they're watching a movie. It's strange. MHA was slightly different in that it was super unclear that whatever the kid's name, it's Minato or something. I can never remember him. I hated MHA too. Where it made it look like he just got ditched by his friends and he was just being like a boring ass teacher. Deku, thank you. He's just being a boring ass teacher. So they had to make a post chapter where he gets a suit and he gets to slam the girl. And I was like, how did you fuck it up? Like, the setup for who he was gonna end up with was so blatant, and you had to release an extra chapter because you made it look like he got cucked by everybody else. Shit, I dropped my coin. I was playing with it. I was playing with my Guard of War coin. Death Battle Gru model is getting clowned on now that the Death Battle modeler is left. I've never been big into Death Battle because I feel like a lot of times they just choose randomly who wins unless there's a character they particularly like on one side. Because they have Death Battle has a really big problem where when they like a character, it's actually if you check the back of the cereal box from the 1970 limited edition release that only came out in Mexico for 1 week, you actually get this lore tidbit that confirms that this character is a god. Meanwhile, the character on the other side, it's yeah, we kind of read the fandom wiki and really nothing else. It's fucking what? Thank you, Toa, for 5. I will never forgive Attack on Titan for co-opting the projector from Kill the Kill panel at a con that one time. I have not heard of that. Glorified dick measuring contest. It's best not to take it seriously. It's not that I take it seriously. It's that they make one side boring, right? Like how they had fucking Green Lantern beat Ben 10. It's not even a close fight. Ben 10, absolutely mollywops Green Lantern. Green Lantern in his universe is got unplugged. My mic, I have to buy a new mic because the back end of it's kind of messing up. But the Ben 10 with Green Lantern doesn't make any sense because they have Green Lantern win in a way that Ben literally can't lose. It is the one way he physically cannot lose, and they still have him do it. And that's what makes the battle boring, because you clearly did not care about, who would win. Kendra saw incoming semi and froze in the road. What's wrong with mollywop? Mollywop is a fun word. I like to say it. It's a mollywop. Oh, I see Kendra moving.
Right, I'm back. Sorry.
Welcome back. We were all talking about how you got hit by a truck.
Of course it is. It's always leads back to that truck.
And chat was making fun of me because I actually used mollywop in a sentence.
What is it? So while I was gone, I went to go reread everything just to make sure we didn't skip anything important. And technically we didn't.
Okay.
Because most of this entire section is him just jerking off his characters and how he's clearly the best writer in the world. The only important, quote unquote, important pages, I would say, are page 12 through, what is it? Technically 12 through 14, because eventually he just starts jerking off his characters for the 50th time. 12 through 13, and then skip all that. Plot. Then go all the way down to page 24.
Okay, so we'll do 12. I went back up. We'll do 12 through 14 then.
All right, because that'll help understand how he wanted to make his villain. Hold up real second. Sorry, one of my family members had a toy microphone that just does that.
Fair. We were just talking about like death battle stuff and how Ben 10 100% mollywopped Green Lantern and they cheated.
I mean,
chat was also wondering why I didn't like Attack on Titan, which led me to discussing that both Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia had to have post-ending chapters because they both ended with cuck endings and nobody liked it.
My thing with My Hero Academia is that it's not as bad only because like you kind of expect it though. They set up all the build-up. Of course they're gonna get together. Of course him and Uraraka are gonna get together, which I don't know why people thought they didn't.
They kind of made it look like they didn't though. Like the final chapter makes it look like he's just watching life go by him as the teacher and nobody talks to him anymore because they worded it super weird. So they had to make an actual ending where now he gets a suit. Also, thank you Nakamichi for the super. Tifa versus Yang death battle was rigged and was disliked en masse during a live stream a few years ago. Wiz said that they chose Yang to win for advertising purposes for Ruby. That's fucked. They literally sold out.
Considering what's going on with Ruby now, yeah.
I just don't think it's natural. Don't worry, Yang. When I get to heaven, I'll tell your arm the rest of you won't be coming. That will always be my favorite one. Anyways, well, I scrolled back up. So,
all right.
When I started to build the world for this game, the first thoughts that came into my head were, if a killing game took place in the real world, how would it be pulled off? What would be the tools, resources, manpower, and knowledge required to execute a plan this ambitious without anyone suspecting foul play? What kind of world would lead to someone to creating a killing game? These aren't all the... What?
No, you know what? Finish the page.
Okay.
Sorry.
These aren't all the questions I had regarding the topic, but they are the most relevant to this aspect of designing the environment in conjunction with the story. Let's start with intention. I wanted to build a world that mirrored our current reality in order to create their killing game. The internet exists, cameras and phones exist, and most importantly, people are people. Talent isn't some magical power that people can be born with, it's just talent that is measured by different metrics, such as winning competitions, establishing yourself as a prominent public figure, having an influential reputation in your subject of talent, being able to compare, contrast multiple people in that similar subject talent to establish a hierarchy of accomplishment.
So the funny thing about this is that all of this falls apart because the literal protagonist of the first series is literally the ultimate lucky student, which means that he got in because he won a raffle. This franchise that literally has a character in one of the bad endings because people were wondering why this specific character died, and the creator's response was she randomly combusted one day. Like, we're trying to apply logic in a series where one of the executions was literally a hot girl sitting on a syringe and then got blasted off into space to die.
And, like, it's a game. Don't spend so much time thinking about how would they actually do this. No, they got locked in a schoolhouse. The end. Fucking don't spend all this time trying to, like, math out how it's gonna work.
Oh
Have you... I forget what
this
the exact quote is. Somebody in chat will probably know and they'll define it for me. But it's something along the lines of you are not smarter than your audience. And it's not that, like, any individual person in the audience is definitely smarter than you. it's somewhere in your audience, there is one person that is going to think harder about your work than you ever will. So stop trying to like fill every hole and every gap, because they're just gonna find another one. It is better to just leave stuff vague. And the examples they give is, how far are you traveling? A long ways. How much time has passed? A long time. Don't give exacts, because then people are going to poke holes in it. Just say, because it did.
Also, there's like one character that's straight up the ultimate clairvoyant, and he gets most of his clairvoyancy correct 30% of the time. He's also a high school, he's technically also a high school dropout, and just got, he's literally a grown man.
Yeah.
He just got accepted to the school because he got lucky. What is it? We got like a gigantic buff woman because she was the ultimate like martial artist. Like, again, you look at like some of these talents in Danganronpa and it's like, that's not a talent, but I guess.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. Like, the ultimate fashionista is literally Hitler.
Yeah. I mean, Slay Queen.
Like, stop thinking about logic in this franchise.
They were masters of fashion. Creating this rubric allowed me to pick the talents that I did for my characters, and more easily justify both their talent and reasoning for consideration of the ultimate title. That being said, I distinctly left out the assignment of the ultimate title to people in the real world and decided that this title would only be assigned to the participants of the killing game. My logic was that if there were an ultimate that existed in the real world and identified publicly as such, were all invited to the academy, that public was made aware of this happening, then their disappearance would trigger alarm bells with everyone in the media. Just don't think of it that hard. We invited all the ultimates into a game show. We'll release the results of the game show in a couple months. I could do this. That would genuinely work. People unironically do go on shit like Survivor and disappear for months at a time.
Yep. Some people have just straight up died on camera.
Yeah, fair.
My thing is like they say this just outright in Danganronpa. All of the ultimates are scouted. Every single ultimate is scouted, and not every single ultimate is like the original ultimate. Some of the original ultimates are their parents, or they were probably related to them in some way, or they were a mentor. Ultimate is just a title because they are the best at what they do. If you aren't a ultimate, but you still want to attend Hope's Peak Academy, you are a reserved course student because you're still going to get prestige because you have it on your resume.
Yeah.
And you just got to repay a ridiculous fee, despite like the ultimates being like, the other ultimates being like basically getting in for free and they get all their room and board taken care of. It's not that hard. Like, they explain this like really basic concept. We'll get to the other thing that he tries to logic himself out of later.
Well, also, I don't think he understands how the real world works. Because like his next line is, there would be a massive search effort almost immediately and investigations would look for movement communication related to them all over the web. I always think back to, there was a Australian politician that just went out on his boat off the coast of Australia one day and just never came back. And when people said, shouldn't you go look for him? Everybody literally just shrugged their shoulders and said, he's gone.
That's the same thing.
That was an actual politician, and people just shrugged their shoulders and were like, yeah, he's gone.
It's like the same thing happened even like with like the video games franchise. Like the Kirby series, like the Dark Matter trilogy was made by like one guy, and he did his whole thing, made a bunch of Dark Matter games that were celebrated, and then just disappeared, and he literally left a everlasting mark in the franchise. We just never saw him again.
Yeah.
Company didn't even know.
Like people go out into caves, mountains, and woods all the time and just never come back. And nobody looks for it.
Fulanin, hoi hoi, what are we doing tonight? We're talking about someone, we're reading a manifesto of someone who hates Danganronpa and anime and reading, but they wanted to make their own Danganronpa fan game, but they're thinking too hard about Danganronpa fan game logic.
Danganronpa fan visual novel.
Oh.
Toa, by remarkable coincidence, the exact same thing happened to Ghislaine Maxwell's father. Yeah, but like it happens. This idea that like if somebody that was at the top of their field went missing, everybody would be looking for him. No, they go missing all the fucking time. The world is wild place.
Yep.
So the ultimate status of our students. Oh, so that's another thing, because again, these are students. People that are the top of their field as students are not always considered like that special. Because sometimes as they like become adults, for whatever reason, that talent just dies and it doesn't carry over.
Like that's kind of the thing with like Hope's Peak Academy. The whole point of going to Hope's Peak is to nurture these talents and then send them out to the world to create hope. That is it. Like and then they even like have like a small dilemma about it of being like, I kind of not sure if I really want to keep being an ultimate anymore, because if I'm an ultimate, I'll never be able to do what I actually want in life. But because I'm the ultimate thing and it's been blasted worldwide, I gotta keep being an ultimate. It's not that serious. Like, bro, calm down.
Also, thank you, Internet Zen. Mizu, that wasn't just any politician, that was the Australian Prime Minister. And this disappearance happened back in the 60s. It'd go viral now. I don't know, to this day, they still shrug their shoulders about it. So yeah, he just went missing. Homie's just gone.
Listen, that happened, what is it? That happened with like a recent congresswoman where everybody was like, hey, we need a vote on this like one thing. Where is she? We only just found out that she hasn't been here for a while. She was in a care facility because she was getting dementia.
I remember that one. She had dementia and she was locked up in a facility.
Like, people were like, what are you doing over here?
So the ultimate status of our students is assigned by the mastermind of the killing game. For this purpose of this killing game, in order to achieve two main goals. 1. Dehumanize the participants, stripping them down to labels of talent. 2. Force the students to confront their talents through their sins. See the character section. It also helps with the public perception of our project. What are you talking about? Relating to the common attributes established in the mainline Danganronpa games, while also using this term as a means to drive plot solely for the killing game, without disrupting the world that this killing game takes place in. Whether or not this decision will impact how the audience feels about our world is a small concern, since people will be playing this game and expecting the parallels to align with our world and the world of Danganronpa. But I hope this change to the ultimate titles better allows us to construct a more realistic world that focuses on building deep backstory rather than arbitrary rules for justification of our student selection. Example, there can only be one ultimately talented student for a subject at a time. The next decision I made required me to think about how I would create the perfect environment for a killing game to occur in a more realistic world. Looking at the creation of Hope's Peak for the Danganronpa killing game, it was just a school for talented and gifted individuals whose purpose was researching talent itself. The academy focused broadly on those who resided in Japan, although a few foreigners were allowed to oh, sorry, a little tired. To attend if their talent was unique in nature, or if they could not find said ultimate within the borders of Japan. I felt conflicted with how to prevent this from happening with my story. What do you mean? While this can work for Danganronpa, I did not want to create something so similar in purpose, since it would have felt like I had no explanation for the creation of my environment, besides trying to recreate what inspired me in the first place. I wanted my school environment to have both purpose and justification for why it was created in the first place. How does an environment like an academy get to the point of abandonment where someone can go in and outfit the place with cameras and weapons, all with the sole purpose of conducting a murder spree among those whose society values the most? Total Drama
Black
Island.
market. Simple, just the black market.
Well, no, it's just Total Drama Island. Like, American stuff has figured this out already. Just turn it into a game show.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what Danganronpa is. They turned it into a game show without them realizing it was a game show.
Also, thank you, Bandog, for the super. Australia named a swimming center after the Prime Minister that disappeared in the sea. That's kind of like a... I don't know, if I die out at sea, do I want people to name a swimming center after me? Yes, Total Drama is Canadian. What I mean is, like, we know, like, what you could do realistically to do this. The problem would not be doing it. You could easily do this. The problem is getting away with it.
Even, like, in-universe, Danganronpa is played up as a game show because, number one, it's a video game. Number two, again, we find out near the end that it's, like... Because Junko's basically this really insane host who was hosting things behind the scenes and broadcasting it to people who thought they had a little bit of hope left so that she could just wipe out their hope.
Yeah.
And then there was the whole thing with Danganronpa 2, broadcasting that to Future Foundation. Danganronpa V3, it's literally just an actual game show where you can vote if you like the show or not, or who's gonna live and who's gonna die. Like, literally the whole point of... Okay, spoiler alert for Danganronpa V3's title. The whole point of V3 was literally that the title was called Danganronpa 53, as in there were 53 other killing games to replicate the first two killing games because they were so cool on TV. It was basically Hunger Games.
Yeah.
I'm like, calm down, bro.
So somebody said America turned fat people into a game show, and another person says 600-pound life ? No, there was a game show in America called The Biggest Loser, and the entire goal of the show was to have fat people try and lose weight. And if you didn't lose as much weight as the other two people, you were labeled the biggest loser.
Yep. Sometimes they could just vote you off.
To be fair, it wasn't technically turning fat people into a TV show, it was turning weight loss into a TV show. But they specifically found the fattest people possible. Thank you, Internet Zen. To be fair, Australia's PM was last seen swimming. Yeah, but like, if I was last seen getting mauled by a bear, don't name a wildlife sanctuary after me. Name a hunting club after me. Well, this can work with Danganronpa. I didn't want to create something so similar in purpose, since I would have felt like I had no explanation for the creation of my environment, besides trying to recreate what inspired me in the first place. How does an environment like an academy get to the point of abandonment? Oh, I already read that. I'm dumb.
Yep.
But this whole thing has been just him recreating Danganronpa, though. And, like, saying it in a way like he didn't just do that.
It feels like he's trying to recreate Danganronpa 1, 2, and 3 into, like, one game, which all have various different themes, and it's just like, calm down, bro. You're not that special. Kodaka thought of it and then left the franchise and then went on to create 100 line.
Yeah. Also, apparently, we're now drawing inspiration from Vault Tech. Drew a lot of inspiration for my initial idea from games like Fallout, where the fictional company Vault Tech created nuclear bunkers to protect people from nukes. But in exchange for using the bunkers, the occupants were treated like lab rats for the science at Vault Tech to perform experiments that were both unethical and strange in nature. Fallout was able to create such a unique approach to this idea because it was possible that the world could end with nuclear winter, so it made sense that a company would exist whose purpose is to create these large underground shelters. To be fair, thinking about it more, Vault Tech doesn't really make sense.
Also, like, from little I know of Fallout, the whole thing is that it's based on, if I remember correctly, the 60s or the 70s, where people thought that everything would look like the Jetsons. So it still doesn't make sense because we still didn't reach that technology.
Actually, so in Bethesda's Fallout, everything looks like the Jetsons. In Fallout 1 and 2, the old, like, top-down games, it kind of looks a little bit more Warhammer. Like they kind of have like this really weird megalithic aesthetic to it.
Okay.
But yeah, the whole experiment thing doesn't really even make that much sense and with Vault Tech, because we have yet to see in any of the series Vault Tech's actual plan to continue after the bombs fall. Like,
isn't there like two vaults where it's literally all guys but one girl and all guys in like a different vault? Or all women and one guy in a different vault? Yeah.
So there's one that's all women with one guy, and that one kind of devolves into a shit show. But there's also one that's all guys with one woman that just apparently turns into a rape fest. And it's like, yeah, no. There's also one vault that's just a guy with a bunch of puppets, and he canonically goes insane, and when he finally leaves the vault, he becomes like the ultimate killer.
Okay.
Yeah, he just comes out with his puppet and starts murdering people. Yeah, see, no, I get that Vault Tech's goal is to test people for, like, different stuff. The problem is the series never explains Vault Tech's plan to survive past the bombs dropping. Like, they kind of skim over that part. It's like, okay, why is Vault Tech doing all of this stuff, but not also ensuring a way for them to survive afterwards? They kind of forgot that part. So they're just going to have all this useless data in their vaults and no way to continue living with it. Sorry for interrupting you. I was...
No, you're good. You're good. You're more knowledgeable about Fallout than me, so I was just kind of...
I'm vaguely knowledgeable about it.
Oh gosh, this is the M13 and this is deep. Oh my gosh.
Fallout was able to create such a unique approach to the idea because it was possible the world could end with nuclear winter, and it made sense that a company would exist whose purpose is to create these large underground shelters. Looking back to history, I wanted to use this same justification in creating what we refer to as Eden Garden Academy. Simply put, the academy was created to recruit the most talented youth across America and have them attend class in a singular location, so that if the bombs fell, the country could... Why? You're just like stealing shit from other games. I thought you were... You're just literally ripping Fallout and putting them in a vault. Just do what I told you and rip off Survivor and drop their asses on an island.
You know what's even funny? In Danganronpa, they literally just straight up say, yeah, there's like multiple branches of Hope's Peak Academy across the world. It's just that because this is a Japanese game, we're gonna just focus in Japan. It's not that hard.
Yeah, you're making this so overcomplicated, and you don't even need to explain this, but you're spending way too much time trying.
It's like, why would they abandon the building? And it's like...
They could rebuild from that talent that was preserved inside the academy. So, look, they might be talented people, but here, let me look it up. Because... So the minimum population needed to safely repopulate Earth is believed to be between 80 to 5,000 people. And you have... The lower number of people, the more specific you have to get with who sleeps with who. Right? Because you have to avoid inbreeding. So realistically... from at least what I can see off just a cursory glance, because I can't remember the exact number, a lot of places estimate that you would need at least like 500 people if you wanted to safely repopulate an area. So the fact that you think you can do it with like 30 kids in an academy, like, no, you can't. Not even close. Even by the smallest possible number, not even close. And this is what I mean. I can poke holes in this still. Stop trying. And that was like 2 seconds off of like a factoid I remembered from years ago. A school designed as a nuclear fallout shelter to protect from what would become the generation that rebuilds America if tragedy struck. Pairing this explanation with the justification of the Cold War. Is this set during the Cold War? Pairing this explanation with the justification of the Cold War, a nuclear standoff between the United States and Russia, and the environment of Eden's Garden Academy finally has both purpose and a reason to exist. It allows us to explore an environment not yet tackled by Danganronpa at a time of writing this, a school university location built underneath a mountain. It also gives more significance to the elevator of the school. The elevator that will take you down to the class trial hall is the only way to enter or leave the academy grounds. Having your only escape be the focal point in the environment makes it a lot easier to create suspense around how close the students are to escaping, yet not knowing how powerless they really are. And the best part, the plan fails.
This brother is just being so dramatic.
So now we go back down to 24 for the characters. Or sorry, 26.
Everything else is literally just him glazing his own plot. Literally his own plot, his own characters.
Thank you, Toa, for the super. I think it's been estimated the smallest total human population has ever gotten in history is 2,000 people during the last Ice Age. And War Turkeyfy, thank you for the super. Vault Tech, the U.S. Fallout government's goal was testing for long-term space travel. They never expected the bombs to drop. They just wanted to ditch a plant that was low on energy resources. Fair enough. Fallout gets a little complicated after Bethesda gets involved, because Bethesda is very loosey-goosey with all of their lore. Especially these days, like, holy shit. After they made the Creation Club, whew, boy. I think you read Heracross, why not just make an original project based on Danganronpa?
But this is the original project based on Danganronpa. We just took the anime art style and the gameplay and the themes and the inspiration. We just didn't want the icky anime stuff.
That's the thing, right? Like, you mentioned it a minute ago, but there are other Hope's Peak. Why isn't this just the American branch of Hope's Peak? Like, if you really wanted a Danganronpa fan game, why isn't it just the American branch of the academy that is said to have other branches?
Because I thought my idea was cooler.
Yeah.
It didn't fall in line with the logic.
So I know he had read the first couple lines of this. Do you want to keep with this character, or did you want to do one of the others?
Wolfman, what is it? Because it's like 24, 20, what is it? 24, 25. Finish 24, 25. We'll read the intro for Damon. And then we can read some of the other characters, but the most important one is the black character in the game. Well, there's two black characters, but basically
we'll do Damon and Erika.
Damon and Desmond. Oh.
All right, so I pass it back to you.
Those are the two more important ones. All right. Now, we're coming to a conclusion from building the world and backstory for this game. I want to clarify and summarize important points regarding all the information above. This was all written from my perspective that this could actually occur in the world we live in, the real world. Okay, buddy. I did not come from this. It didn't come from a perspective that wanted to follow the tropes of Danganronpa. It did not come from the perspective of turning the dial to 11 on crazy, ridiculous plot points that make the world look chaotic and full of inconsistencies. I tried my hardest to make sure I could answer every question, every criticism, address every inconsistency in my writing of this. I wanted to make sure that at the end of this game, the player would walk away and believe they had been told, believe that these events would have happened in the real world had the circumstances been different. What I don't want to see from the writing possible changes to story moving forward. What I don't want to see from the writing / possible changes to writing moving forward. This is fiction, so we can make up our explanations even if they don't make sense. It's a game, so we can be crazy with how the characters / situations are portrayed. The tone is too dark, so we need to swing the pendulum the complete opposite way in some moments of the story. The player / audience cannot handle such dark ideas, concepts / themes. We cannot trust the player to understand why these characters did these things. And I don't understand why he's doing all of this, because the whole reason why Danganronpa changed production was because it did get too dark.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta be goofy, bro. Calm down. Oh my gosh. I believe in my vision regarding the world and backstory. I believe in the villains I created, and they are villains. But just because they are villains does not mean that nothing can be learned from their actions, their mistakes, their flaws. That is the purpose of these two very important characters. He's talking about Wolfgang and the other girl that we just mentioned in the next section. What is it? From the actions and frauds, the purpose of these two important characters to help people learn from the dark ideas to fight against their own demons they need help conquering within themselves. My belief is that a good villain will always push the audience further away from the dark thoughts that they share with the villain. And here's how. Wolfgang is a victim of circumstance. There were high expectations of him, but he knew that he would never reach them. He failed miserably in every regard of his life, and as a result was hopeless and directionless. He was not fully evil until Ava convinced him to be, and even then it was from the perspective that he would have only believed being as hopeless as he was at the time. Had Wolfgang been gifted or talented, maybe things would have turned out completely different for him, but he could not change the past, and that was his flaw, the tragedy of Wolfgang Akire. So I gotta explain this real quick because I don't remember if they explain it in his section. Basically, the whole thing with Wolfgang was that unlike the quote-unquote ultimates that he has, he actually paid for his ultimate title, which just makes zero sense, but because that's not how it works. He paid for his ultimate title, and so he's dealing with the crippling fact that he sucks as a lawyer because he paid for his lawyer license. Isn't that just Hajime's character? Yeah, it's just Hajime's character, but far worse. Because the whole point of Hajime's character is that he has no talent, so he went to become Izuru Kamakura. But, he ended up losing himself along the way, which is why Chiaki was such a big help in the long run. But I'm just wondering what this guy is on about.
This is something you have to be really careful with when you're sort of basing your ideas off something else. A lot of times you will just start wholesale lifting ideas from it.
Oh my gosh. Wolfgang is clearly Hajime. Ava is a combination of Junko, but also so there's this whole thing in Hope's Peak where they were trying to do this thing called the Izuru Kamakura program because Izuru Kamakura was the original founder of Hope's Peak. So they basically wanted an Izuru 2.0. And so they were trying to find a student who would be willing to go through with the program. And the people that were keeping this stuff a secret, along with Junko's plan, because they knew she was planning stuff but told them to back down, were the directors of Hope's Peak before they were killed off during the Junko spinoff. And it's like they wrapped all of those characters together into one, and it's just like, you just made this this is getting comically ridiculous for this character to do. Like, you can do it, but like, calm down, bro.
Yeah.
What is it? Ava is a victim of perspective. Her closed-off childhood, her restriction of freedom forced her to fall down a rabbit hole and form opinions that would have otherwise manifested had she been able to venture out into the world and see it for herself. Her limited scope of knowledge relating to the world, paired with her inner desire to retaliate against her parents for their decisions, led to a creation of hatred towards the talented and the gifted. Had she not had the drive or resources to push her down a path of action, maybe she would have ended up like Wolfgang, where she would have been hopeless, but with no ability to cause harm to others with her destructive line of thinking. The tragedy of Maria Sunaka.
I believe in you.
Well, I'm like, I don't think that's a real last name. But we'll get to that.
Well, to be fair, people have complained about my name before because it's not a real name.
No. Mizutamari is at least still like a real Japanese word. Yeah. But this guy, we'll get to that. Oh. I use the term victim very purposefully here in my description of these villains. It is not to remove blame or responsibility for their actions. It is not to make the player sympathize with their motives or responses. It is to demonstrate that anyone could have become what they were, that their situation was not unique to themselves. The problem that they experienced, that they dealt with and formed their minds, it all could have happened to anyone. They had no control over what they experienced growing up, only how they dealt with it moving forward in life. And they chose the wrong direction on how to move forward. They were meant to forgive, and instead they fought. This is what I want the players to learn. Calm down, bro. Calm down. Moving forward with my story, we will be discussing each of the students participating in the new killing game, and although they had backstories that tie into the world I've created, I felt it would be more appropriate to focus on what the character roles in the story rather than the details of their actual backstory. I'm open to changing story and world details involving the characters so long as the roles that these characters serve in the story remain achieved. My only request is that the details regarding Ava and Wolfgang not be touched or altered. If I wrote specific details regarding these characters in this chapter, that means I am very adamant on what I had created for them. And while I'm comfortable with working on other characters' stories in this game, the treatment of Ava and Wolfgang's stories are not open to further interpretations or changes. We could see that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's impossible to change them, only that it will require a lot of thought and consideration on my end, paired with a convincing argument for why the changes was necessary in order to push me in a different direction. Ava as the mastermind, as predictable, it was also purposeful. Please respect the purpose from my perspective and understand that there is much more depth to this story than we just answering the question of who is the mastermind behind the killing game. Okay, bro. Oh, we're moving. Okay.
But you know, it's still Jigsaw's fault. Like, you could sit here all you want about, like, there's more to the story. Like, no, at the end of the day, it's still Jigsaw's fault. Like, just so we're all clear. I don't know why you're trying to, like, absolve Jigsaw of putting people in the saw traps. But
oh my gosh, this is embarrassing.
It's pretty hot. It's pretty rough.
This is embarrassing. Let's continue with this. Creating Damon Maitsu.
You did get the first bit of that, though.
Oh wait, sorry.
We did get the first little bit of this because we were making fun of them for saying they lack empathy. We finished the first sentence and the first like 2 little paragraphs here, so it's there's something incredibly important, I think.
Okay. There's something incredibly important about this character and the way his journey should be depicted over the course of the game and story. It's something that I would hope every person already believes, but the reason I stress the importance is because I know there are people in the world who, like Damon, share his perspective. Having a flawed protagonist was something A flawed protagonist was something that most games tries to avoid, mainly because you want the protagonist to be a blank slate for the character in most story-based games. A lot of Danganronpa stories are based around main characters who lack a lot of character and personality, being reduced to an average guy who is slightly insecure, but also slightly confident. And while that may be a working formula, I believe in something greater than Damon and his potential in the story. First off, we do not accept Hajime slander in this chat. This is... He just wants to recreate Hajime, but my version of complex Hajimeism.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. Because like Hajime is like the fan favorite protagonist because he does have personality and he is quirky and he has like lack of self-confidence, but he's still like a cool character. Like come on, bro.
Yeah, no, it's again like they're just borrowing stuff that already happened, and I don't think they realize they're borrowing stuff that already happened.
Good. Maybe we can create a main character that the players initially dislike. I can imagine reactions such as, "Man, why is Damon such a jerk?" or "Wow, Damon really doesn't seem to care about these people." And that is something I would entirely expect and hope for early on in the story. Damon should not be insecure. After all, he believes in his talent, and the talent gives him perceived power over the people. The embodiment of Ava's false perception becomes validated in this character, and it's why Ava is so interested in helping Damon throughout most of the story. Damon is the crux of Ava's demise. Ava creates these videos that Damon will watch on his own, videos that describe the future of the killing game and the motives that will be given to push the students towards murder. Ava will give hints and help in order to make Damon believe that she is genuinely trying to help. In reality, Ava is hoping that Damon does not trust her, to further prove the point that these talented people will never respect anyone other than themselves. He's literally just smashing Hajime and Byakuya Togami like together. I'm sorry. We're continuing. I'm sorry. Ava creates these blah 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 blah. So either one of these two outcomes will occur in the killing game with the videos Ava makes. Damon listened to Ava's videos, trusting her words and earning her trust for the eventual turn against him at the end of the story. David refuses to listen to Ava's videos, proving Ava's point about talented people being self-centered and ignorant. Either way, Ava
it's the
wins.
Fucking Joker meme. I refuse to kill you, Joker. Somehow that means I win. I won't kill you, Joker. Well, somehow that means I win.
There's someone in your chat being like, "Oh god, he's gonna yick it up."
I like how everyone collectively agrees that game's name is Yick and not Y2K.
I mean, listen, if you didn't want it to be called Yick, you should have spelled it like if you wanted to be Y2K, you shouldn't have spelled it like that. Oh, I love Hajime. He's also voiced by Johnny Young Bosch. I personally think that is one of his best roles, but specifically the game voice acting, because for some reason when he voice acts outside of that, it feels off. But it's probably just because he's getting old.
Wasn't he complaining about binaries earlier? Yeah, they're complaining about binaries a little earlier.
But this is complex binaries.
This is a more nuanced binary than the other binary. You just don't get it, chat.
you know why Danganronpa has such a simple plot? Because of stuff like this. If you think too hard about this stuff, it just comes off as dumb.
Yeah. They're trying to make it way too complex, and they're quickly realizing that you can't do that.
I don't think they realize it enough. Either way, Ava wins, and while it's difficult to determine which outcome is the most beneficial for her, Damon will remain none the wiser over the course of the story. However, Damon will change. He will grow out of his talent shell over the course of the story, making small connections with the rest of the cast that will become deeper, more thoughtful connections. My goal for Damon is to prove Ava's idea wrong about people with talent and skill. Prove that despite the attitude he might have started with, Damon can become human. He can be an emotional creature who empathizes with others, who cares about the outcomes of other people involving his decisions, and who fights for those who cannot fight for themselves. Damon will be the antithesis of Ava's killing game. Now, there's an additional characteristic I'd like to include with Damon's story that will make him a complete character for me. Damon needs to die.
So first off,
we're gonna make you
go to therapy. Second off, I don't think there's something more narcissistic than acknowledging how much of a narcissist you are and then patting yourself on the back for how like it's amazing it's gonna be when you overcome your narcissism.
And then kill him.
And then kill yourself.
Like, you gotta remember, he literally said, I'm gonna make this character is like me. So anyway, I'm gonna have him die. Like, what?
Oh, God.
Oh. And the way I originally constructed the idea for how Damon could die was implementing the sins of the killing game. Essentially, that acted similarly to the Danganronpa 3 anime, where they're called forbidden actions, and pretty much listed something the player either could not do or witness from the other players, otherwise they would die. Now, the way I designed sins is to work a little different, but still inspired. Essentially, they are all actions relating to the student's talents or backstories in some way. If the sins are committed during the killing game, the student would be punished. It does not mean the students would immediately die, but they would be punished in some manner. Now, I don't know if I want to actually let the specific player know what the punishment would be, or to keep it a secret from them. But for Damon, I created a sin that perfectly encapsulated both his talent and personality to create an ultimate conflict for him to deal with. He cannot win the killing game.
See, that's gay. That's you can't put somebody in a saw trap and then say, if you get out of the trap, you lose, and I kill you anyways.
My thing is like,
it's genuinely a lose-lose, and it's like, okay, well, why am I participating in this at all then if I'm just gonna die either way?
Oh my god!
What, for my own like entertainment?
My thing is like, okay, so here's the thing. The reason why the forbidden actions were made was because Danganronpa 3 is a TV show. They gotta add stakes to the TV show. If it was just a regular, like, I am of the opinion that Danganronpa 3 should have just been a game instead of V3. It should have just been the conclusion. Because at that point, like, with what happens in the show, so much happens in the show that it's like, this should have just been a game. And the thing is that it really only comes into play near the last couple of episodes, because one of the characters gets poisoned and dies, and it's like, oh, this important character is like dead now. And the whole point is to like kind of quote unquote like make the actual main character go off and do his own thing and not constantly rely on her, which was basically the whole theme of Danganronpa 1, where Makoto was supposed to do his own thing and like learn from that. That plot point wouldn't matter if that was not established beforehand. This guy's trying to basically trying to rush that entire development into like one game.
Also, thank you, Internet Zen, for the super. What I'm hearing is that Damon is supposed to be iDubbbz, who genuinely learns empathy and then dies. I'm half asleep, so forgive me if I got it wrong. No, that's about where we're at. He learns empathy, and then he dies because he wins the game, but he's not allowed to win the game because nobody's allowed to win the game or some shit. I don't know.
Satoru Yokoi says Detroit becomes human was better than Damon becomes human.
Damon learns empathy.
I learned empathy at the good old age of 30.
Chat, are me and Kendra the mean girls, or is it genuinely this bad?
No, I was literally stated, had my life been differently, I would have been a mean girl. Difference is that I learned empathy at age 5. when you're supposed to.
You be empathetic and a mean girl. God, that person must feel so bad for how I'm treating them.
Someone said, holy crap, that means Ava is a Nisa.
Do you think I bullied them hard enough to make them cry?
Oh my gosh.
This whole thing sounds like it's trying way too hard to be original. Yeah. And it's failing, like, every step of the way. It's like, you don't understand. Like, it's completely different from my game. Instead of forbidden actions, we have sins. Okay, well, what else is different about them? I mean, nothing else is different about them, but I used a new name.
Oh my gosh, he's basically LARPing Danganronpa 3. We're just LARPing different aspects of Danganronpa.
Yeah.
I just realized Jamin is supposed to be Jesus if he was a narcissist.
I don't like. He cannot win the killing game. Okay, then why is he playing?
Again, this only works in Danganronpa 3 because, so basically one of the actions for this specific character is you cannot survive past this round with this character, and it's supposed to be a character moment for them to be like, I'm willing to sacrifice myself instead of killing them because everybody else has been killing so far and we've already been through this before, and I care about you enough to like let myself get poisoned instead of you. And then of course there's like a whole twist and reveal and blah 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 blah. But again, that's supposed to be character moments and character development. This guy's just trying to rush all that in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, let's continue reading.
Making Damien Jesus, he dies for the sins of the gifted. He literally made himself Jesus!
Oh.
Sorry, you can continue.
Oh. I'm so sorry. The implications of this statement can be vague, so let me clarify for you guys. He cannot kill someone to become the Blackened and win by getting through the class trial, and he cannot win by being one of the 2 remaining players at the end of the game. Both these outcomes will result in Damon being punished, which he and we will both assume means death at this time. This does a number of things for Damon in the story. He starts the game being utterly hopeless about the situation, which allows for the seal on his character to be broken and his personality grow over the course of the story. He is more willing to trust the word of Ava in her video, since she might have the only answer / loophole to his sin that would allow him to escape and leave the killing game. To create a shock value for the player when his sin is revealed towards the end of the game, since the revelation will be that after all this time, Damon was fighting for his life, knowing that there's no hope for him, even if he managed to survive at the end. You see, that's garbage, because imagine playing as a protagonist. People hate the ending of V3 for this exact reason, because it's like, what do you mean it was all a LARP the entire time? This is stupid. But this is worse.
Nobody likes their main character to die without like a really good reason behind it, right? And even then, like, sometimes people are a little upset with it. But unless your main character goes out and like a heroic sacrifice plus a blaze of glory, everybody's gonna be like, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah. Even Danganronpa, again, people had issues with V3, but it was still good enough where people are like, you know what? I guess. I guess okay. But this is just dumb. This is worse than that.
Yeah.
Oh, all of these things are relying on Damon's eventual demise, and I would prefer it be kept secret from the audience until late into the story. Don't do that. For a more dramatic reveal. This reason alone wasn't the only reason why I created the Sins mechanic for this killing game. I also wanted to further push on the theme of our story with the biblical allegory and make it a point to identify the participants of the killing game as sinners who were being given a chance to redeem themselves. One of the reasons the students will be given for why they are selected for the killing game is because each of them have a dark past that they must reconcile with and therefore fight to repent for their actions. Of course, not every character might have a dark past that they deal with, but it doesn't matter since the reason is a lie created by Ava. At the end of the day,
they would know that you were lying about it. Because, like, imagine you have Miss Goody Two Shoes, like, sitting in there going, what the fuck did I do? My parents loved me. They sent me out here because they thought I was going to be protected from nuclear holocaust. They thought I was a great student. My class loved me. My teacher loved me. I didn't get bad touched by my uncle. Why am I here? What sin did I do? You can't have a character like, she's going to tell everybody it's based on their dark past, but this is a lie because not all of them have a dark past. Well, the people that don't have the one know they don't have it. So they're going to be confused as fuck.
My thing is, this guy wants to make a Junko with this Ava character without having Ava do any of the stuff Junko did. The reason why Junko was able to get away with what she did was because she not only blackmailed people, she would set up blackmail. She literally once kidnapped Makoto's parents. I think it was either her or Monica. Her or Monica strung up Makoto's parents to make it look like they were hung just to make the sister from Ultra Despair Girls fall into despair to get the bad ending. But this Ava girl doesn't look like she's killed anybody in her life. I don't know. Maybe she did. We didn't read the plot because we're not reading someone glazing their own plot.
Yeah.
We are going to read them glazing their own characters instead. Oh.
Change Ava to a snake. Make her videos apples or forbidden knowledge.
Oh.
That's unironically a better idea than anything they did.
Yep. Oh my gosh. At the end of the day, her goal is to eradicate the students by having them kill each other or committing sins that they are specifically told not to do, proving the defined nature of those with a talent in relation to authority. Ava's goals are always going to be met no matter the outcome. What? Okay.
And it's just a fucking picture of Aang.
It allows the mechanic of sins to make more sense. Since if the sins relate to their talent and supposed dark past, then it would make sense to punish the participants if they try to sin and bring those bad actions into the game. Not all of my original sins for the characters were related to their backstories, but enough were that all the functions of this plot device made me confident enough to implement. And I hope this idea stays ever present throughout the story.
That's dumb because you're writing the story. These aren't real people. You can invent reasons for it to fit them. Like, this is such a bizarre thing. They're talking about their characters like, I couldn't give all of them sins. Yes, you could. Yes, you literally could have. You invented them. They're not real.
But what if I just want to make them real?
It's so dumb. It's your story. You're writing it.
But what if we just made Danganronpa but realistic?
It's so stupid.
The parallels of the story also stretch to Damon in his arc as well. If we wish to compare him to Wolfgang as an example, both of these characters are enough to their lowest point in their lives during the story. Wolfgang, when confronted by Ava about his life and failures outside of his control, and Damon confronting his sins and impending death during the killing game. But the difference between how these characters acted when in the same position speaks to why Damon is our hero. He is fearful of death, yet continues to fight. There's no good reason for him to do so. His only motivation up until that point is to better himself in his own position in life. But the revelation of death forces him to reach out beyond his comfort, or at least break the seal that keeps his personality and sociability with others from being utilized. He believes that now is the perfect time to create change, since training his talent might not have any other purpose at this point of death, if death is inevitable. He succeeds where Wolfgang failed. He opens his heart and forgave himself, moving forward to enact better change within himself. The inspiration behind Damon Mitsu's name came from nothing. In fact, up until I debuted the character publicly, I had previously referred to him as Horsura Tadashi. Why? So why did I change his name at the last minute? Well, because I felt like I had to. I understand that the Japanese names are a staple of Danganronpa, and I wanted to continue with that at least the protagonist. But I felt that if I created a character with such a complex name, people might not be able to relate to him. People would only see him as a protagonist. Damon needed to be relatable, despite his talent and demeanor. I needed his protagonist to portray what I believe was the most relatable and perceivable creation of someone talented and how they might act in the real world. How to portray the stubborn, arrogant personality of someone who spends their entire life dedicated to their craft and nothing else. He needed to be real, so I made him real.
This is so fucking stupid. Why are you like this?
I know being Japanese is like a part of Danganronpa, but I kind of don't want to add the Japanese part.
Because, you know, then people wouldn't relate to him. Unlike the Danganronpa characters that also have Japanese names.
I'm making this for I think this guy, you know what? I think this guy needs a job in localization.
Like, all of this, like, he's writing. And remember, this is supposed to be him.
Someone on Twitter said it best. The reason why you didn't like the fact that he had a Japanese name was because you told someone about it, they made fun of you for it, and you got embarrassed. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't give him any ideas.
Didn't this dude like Avatar and Korra? Yeah, no, those are the only two quote-unquote anime he likes. Avatar and Korra.
Aang is a real name. Korra is clearly a real name.
MF is so obsessed with realism he forgot how to actually write a story. Pretty much.
I love how he literally said, like, I didn't want my protagonist to be just a protagonist, and he's like, I wanted him to be a protagonist. You know?
Kendra, you know how I want to do a Danganronpa style game? I want to get an office of people, and everybody has to write their own character, their own backstory, everything. And we have to play out the killing game in the office.
Oh, I mean, that'd be a better, smarter idea than this. Listen, all we'd have to do is just do the Danganronpa, just copy the Danganronpa stage play. That's it.
So I would choose who dies first, and I would set up like a clue scenario for it, and then everybody in the office would have to like deduce how it worked out, and we'd add that into the game, and then whoever got out first would then get to set up the next like killing of whoever they disliked the most, and that's how we would decide who our main character was by the end of it, is whoever just made it to the end.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I didn't agree with it. To be fair, at one point I considered doing a VTuber Danganronpa event, but then I realized I had neither the money nor the skills to do it.
Me and Akko discussed doing it once because somebody released a Danganronpa trial asset, but we couldn't figure out how to get it to work with models. It only really worked with like Fuji's, and so we never like revisited it.
Well, you know what? One day, who knows? That'd be fun.
But I guess we're continuing with Damon's.
Don't blame me. I didn't find this stuff. This stuff actually comes to me, believe it or not.
We're actually almost there. We've got about a page left.
What is it? In summary, Damon's role in this story is twofold, proving everything that Ava believes in about talented people wrong, showcasing the fact that over the course of this story, Damon was able to change his ways, improve as a human being, and fight obstacles that would have left most people walking down a path of despair, like Wolfgang did. Showcase that what it means to keep fighting even in the face of defeat. Damon had no reason to try, no reason to solve any of the murders, and no reason to defeat the guilty party of each chapter. Damon was sentenced to death from the start, and so none of it should have mattered to him, but it did, and despite that death, he believes in himself and those around him, fighting for them and to keep them alive as the game continued. The selflessness and bravery of Damon in his story, what I want him to be remembered for. Okay. Like I said earlier in this document, there is no great secret. There is no magic answer. Okay. Damon's power came from a place that every human has access to. It wasn't from his knowledge or debate or his pride in being talented. This is the character that everyone should be able to understand by the end, why he kept fighting and how they can draw from Damon's story into their own lives after they finish this game. And it's at this point that I believe to have made clear everything with my intentions regarding the big three characters of the story. Moving forward, I wish to address the rest of the cast in a less detailed fashion, if only to clarify the goals I wish to achieve, stories I wish to tell, and roles I wish for them to serve in the narrative. I have no close attachment to the rest of the cast in the same way I do regarding Damon, Ava, and Wolfgang. So any ideas or suggestions regarding the changes to their backstory or character is something that I am much more receptive to, if not because these characters just need to fulfill the small roles that I wish to be assigned. My goal in creating the cast of characters that I did is to both tell a wide variety of stories related to their possible conflicts and struggles, while at the same time continuing to draw on parallels between some of the members of the cast. You'll notice that You'll notice that while some characters have very unique backstories, example, Winnoa, Jean, Jet, while other characters might share similar traits and experiences related to their backstories, i.e. Kai and Cassidy both dealing with toxic fan base.
Oh my god, they're VTubers.
The ultimate pro gamer! Cassidy, the ultimate pro gamer! While I wish the most for this was purposeful, I will try to connect the dots as tightly as I can, so we can move forward, confident in how I want their stories to be received by the players. There are several ideas I'm going to propose with some of the characters for possible directions related to their stories. Please do not take these ideas as the definitive path for these characters. We can make changes if they align with the overall direction I intend. And I want to reiterate that there are just the initial ideas I came up with for what possible stories can be told. Our cast in no particular order.
So you wanted somebody. Well, I guess first I'll just show chat who they are until we get to the person, which is, you said it's Damien, right?
Desmond. Yes.
Desmond. So we have this girl Winona, which very fancy, very proper. Literally looks like one of the guys out of Utena. Tell me I'm wrong.
I already looked at this doc. They used a bunch of fan art instead of the actual character stills for some reason. I have no idea why.
Okay. So then we have Ulysses Wilhelm. Unironically looks like somebody's VTuber.
Oh my goodness.
Ingrid Grimwall. Looking a bit mannish.
Yes. What is it? While the Butch was it? I will admit, these characters, when the few casts I should have given more detail to initially. My mistake in creating Ingrid for this project was that I never fully fleshed out the character's personality and real purpose for the context of the killing game. I knew that I wanted to create a diverse cast of characters, and while the butch lesbian archetype was already tackled in many stories before mine, I wanted to view Ingrid's story instead of Instead, as a dealing with long-distance love and conflict of having the love in the face of adversity from society. So basically, you just wanted to make a gay stereotype without actually the gay stereotype.
You know what I would have done? Knowing the fan base that this is for, I would have just made Ingrid like the most polite and kind, small, sweet being possible. She's the first one dead. She is literally the first killing in my story. Just so I can have people ranting about fridging. And it works. It says they didn't have like any ideas to like flesh out this character. Okay, first death, boom, done.
Oh my god. So terrible.
Fridge the shit out of her. Then we have Jean de Lamar. He wants to be a ship captain.
The ultimate captain.
Ran away from home, hide in a storage closet at the town port, gets locked inside the storage container on a cargo ship. Once the crew discovers his hideaway, they bring him before the captain, and he decides to take the young Jean under his wing, training him on how to be a ship captain himself. What the fuck is this? Why is there a Helldiver on here with cat ears?
That's one of the characters. He says he hates anime, but somebody actually compared how this character bears a striking resemblance to, if I'm saying this right, Selfie from the Ra Ra Ra.
You mean the motorbike girl with no head?
Yep.
Fair. So we have Jet Dawson. Danganronpa is known for having at least one character with a super unique design that distinctifies. Why are you saying these words? Makes them distinct. Nobody says distinctify. I don't even know if that's actually proper grammar. Them from the rest cast. Example, Hifumi, Teru Teru, and Ryoma. The only one I actually know about is Teru Teru.
Everybody knows about Teru Teru. That's like the first character you almost find that immediately.
So I wanted to replicate that unique character with my own cast as someone who works in an industry that focuses on drag racing. I knew the perfect design and talent for this special character. I know exactly how I wanted Jet to look and what his story should encapsulate. When you said drag racing, I thought we were going in a completely different direction.
Oh no, I thought the same thing too. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Oh wait, hold up. Never mind.
Oh wait, is this not a character?
I mean, if Danganronpa wanted to.
I thought we weren't going into descriptions with the characters. Like, you've got a lot of shit on Jet here. Oh, we have the Japanese character, or Chinese. We have the traditionally Asian character.
So this character popped off because people found out from the leaks that apparently she was going to be a killer, and they're like, I can't believe the 14-year-old is going to be a killer. And it's like, you find out, you find out the real timeline of events that happened in Danganronpa, but for the longest time, you think that teenagers are killing each other. And some people were like, well, yeah, but we find out the revelation that they're not teenagers. And it's like, okay, but the entire time you think you're killing a bunch of teenagers.
Yeah.
Like, calm down.
Toshiko Kaira. The story of the youngest cast member respectfully tackles the topic of childhood, youth, and innocence, as well as toxic relationships that children can have with their parents. The thing about Toshiko that makes her special to me is that despite her only being 14, she has a mature perspective for most of the story. And I hope it's something that not only people will be surprised by, but also stop saying distinctify. What the fuck? Where'd you pick up that word? This character from past young girl character tropes that Danganronpa has established. Example, Hiyoko and Himiko.
You're allowed to say lolly. You're allowed to say lolly.
Yes.
Like, come on, bro.
So, you said it mentions somewhere in here that she killed somebody?
No. So when the plot got leaked, it was found out that she was gonna be the killer, and people freaked out. So it's not. I don't think it's in here. But pretty much, yeah, people were like, what do you mean she kills? Yeah, she killed.
I say, on the other hand, having Toshiko murder someone and not fully understand the ramifications of her actions related to both the murder motivation and what would happen if she got caught is something that has never been done before and could prove incredibly despairing.
Yes.
Mark Mayhem Bursky. Look, it's Ryan.
It really is him.
One of the quietest characters in this cast, Mark also happens to be the most insightful and hopefully the most inspiring. Mark struggles with an issue that I view as one of the more difficult issues to tackle in life, imposter syndrome. Shut the fuck up. You don't have imposter syndrome, you just are an imposter. Shut the fuck up.
I think this guy is just a larper.
You haven't even made this project yet, and you're like, God, I'm just so famous. You're such a dick. I can't with this guy. Holy, I genuinely, I could not. In all my jokes about me being a narcissist, I would have never thought to go this far with it. I could not imagine being this much of a self-absorbed asshole. He tackles one of the most important issues of our lifetime and a deeply important issue to me. Imposter syndrome. I killed Kendra, chat.
Okay.
Oh. Now we have Grace Madison.
You know, I've recently been trying to build more confidence for myself because I want to do more with my life. I need this guy's confidence, please.
Yeah.
Oh, if you're wondering why he keeps going on about parallels all the time, he did a bunch of that in the when he was describing the plot. Ignore all that. He just wants to be deep in 13.
So next we have Grace Madison. Conflict with Grace will be her attitude towards others, as she's a bit of a hothead. Growing up with wealthy parents who were able to fund everything in her life, the expectations placed on her were to be the best at whatever she did, so she could prove her ability to succeed in life. This is literally just Pacifica Northwest.
This is literally, there's a character in Danganronpa, and they are literally, This is literally a character from Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls, and they literally did his arc whatever times better than this. They already did it. They just already did it.
Well, this isn't even like a strange thing for like a rich girl character. Rich girl characters have two things. They're either spoiled or they're like so put upon by their absentee parents that they feel like they have no life of their own. Those are the two character traits of the rich girl.
My thing with it is the fact that, unlike this character, because it's always like, oh, they put so much pressure on me, and I feel so sad that they did that, and it's like, you have with Danganronpa, Ultra Despair Girls. Ultra Despair Girls is divisive because it tackles the very harsh truth that, guess what? Child abuse kind of sucks, and you suck for doing it. And they go into, like, drunk parents, children, parents who sacrifice their children to executive producers, parents who hate their children for looking better than them, and just straight up child experimentation about how much we can like push our child to do. And it's like, you got this here being like, I'm so rich and I'm so sad. Like, come on, bro, get off of it. Oh my gosh.
Diana Venetia. Now this is a truly unique character in the overall story. mainly due to the fact that their conflict will actually manifest during the killing game. For the original backstory of Diana, I mainly focused on how she found her talent, mainly practicing makeup and other cosmetic acts in order to better fit in with popular crowds at school. When she was eventually recognized for her talents by the public, her many offers to work at different beauty salons were overshadowed by the offer to work with a movie studio and do the hair and makeup for A-list actors on set. Why does anyone give a shit? She's a makeup artist. You made it sound like it's super unique.
My thing is, they did do this. It's called Samugi from Danganronpa V3, except instead of makeup and Hollywood and stuff, she's a cosplay star. Because this is a game about anime characters with anime character hobbies.
All they say here is that they specifically want to break Diane. They want her to go in happy, and they want to ruin her life and make her experience despair.
Brother, did you want to make Danganronpa or did you want to make Euphoria?
Yeah. So is it this one, right? Desmond Hall?
Yes. So this one's, yeah, we'll read it. Would you like to do the honors of reading this?
I can. Being one of the first characters I created a reference sheet for, his design is inspired by an incredible person that had a major influence on how I wanted Desmond's personality to be portrayed in the story and game. The name Desmond comes from the popular video creator Etika, who unfortunately passed away in mid-2019. He was ahead of his time with his videos and live stream content, and I'm sure if he had been given the time, would have played Danganronpa and fallen in love with it. He inspired me to play games like Undertale, something I never would have picked up had I not watched him play it. You know what's funny is this is exactly the same as the Yik guy putting the Asian girl in his game, whatever the fuck her name was, Elisa Lam.
Yeah.
Stop putting real people that died in your games. Like, let's roll it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, why does the Etika-based character have a bunch of bullets in the background? After his death...
So, okay, so his, to actually explain it, he's supposed to be the ultimate hunter in this game, which is just...
Why?
Still also just not good. I think it was the ultimate sharpshooter, and everybody was like, this should have been just the ultimate hunter, and it's just... There's just so many things wrong with this.
After his death, I reflected on how I viewed people so talented and energetic, yet dealing with some sort of mental struggle that constantly kept them from going further. His death was also around the same time that I had finished playing Danganronpa V3, so you could say that the seeds of this project were planted around this time, and my focus on... It really is the Elisa Lam thing, holy shit. My focus on creating a project like this would include some sort of inspiration from this amazing human, making sure that whatever project I work on in the future had some sort of acknowledgement or admirance given towards the creator, as he began my own catalyst to working on something bigger than myself. References to somebody who passed away can sometimes work if they're a cute little background character, but making them a main character in your murder, kill, suicide simulator when they died is a little fucking weird. You could have like a random black dude in the background that's like just hanging out, chilling, and be like a Etika reference, and that's probably fine. Putting him in the death game? A little inappropriate. Slightly. Reminds me of, when Dream portrayed his friend dying in a fucking music video.
That's... I understand people grieve differently. Don't grieve like that.
Yeah.
Don't grieve like that.
Grieve different. Do it differently. Also, because I saw a couple people in chat confused about it. In Yick, the main character is spurred on by visions of a girl that goes into an elevator and disappears. And he has said in interviews that she is specifically inspired by the death of Elisa Lam, which just makes it really fucking weird. Dream did what? How did you not know that?
I didn't know that. Granted, I don't watch Dream.
Did you guys not hear that Dream made a music video about his friend dying from cancer? And he portrays like his friend actually dying in it? It's fucking weird. He got so much flack for that.
All I know is I just know about the mask video. That's it.
There's a lot goes on the internet. Now to refocus on Desmond Hall. This is the character with a hard exterior and a soft interior. I wanted to create a character that was both scary and threatening, and believed to have accomplished that with both his design and talent. Originally, he was going to be the ultimate hunter, but I thought it would be a bit too on the nose, so I restricted it to being a marksman, since you could still fire ranged weapons without killing intent. I see Desmond as a companion character to Damon. You literally made him your friend? That's... why? He's the companion character to my self-insert. Oh, let's not... no, let's not do that. You're fucking...
My relatable protagonist, and by relatable to the audience, I mean relatable to me.
I see Desmond as a companion character to Damon, and that he will be friendly and assist the cast in staying safe, going so far as to personally guarantee the safety of anyone who sticks with him in the academy. He would prove a reliable, level-headed contrast to Damon. The role I see Desmond serving in the narrative is that of a Kyoko-type character, where he assists Damon during the investigations using the knowledge and skill that he picked up from his father, as he was someone who constantly had come in contact with crime scenes, even though... Okay. Even though Desmond's help wouldn't be perfect or lead to Damon solving the mystery every time, it would be just enough help to make Damon focused on connecting the dots with what info he can gather at the scene of the crime. Yeah, no, you're right. He would have just been better as Hunter at that point. Because, like, like, why did you make this story of, like, oh, he's a sharpshooter, but his dad takes him to crime scenes? You could have just been like, no, he's a hunter. He's good at tracking shit and noticing little details. Why did you... Oh, dumb.
Because I want to be different, and I don't want to be another ultimate detective.
You made it harder on yourself for no reason.
I think the dumbest part is that you just literally said he could have just been a good tracker. Literally, Chiaki is basically Kyoko's role in Danganronpa and in like Danganronpa 2, and she's not even like a detective. She's a gamer, and we find out why she's so perceptive. But again, gamer girl.
Desmond's backstory isn't related to revenge, or is really related to revenge, and will serve as foreshadow for Wolfgang's character. Desmond's father was a cop in a poor neighborhood, which made both him and his family potential targets for gangs and other violent offenders looking to seek revenge on him. Desmond... Of course you put the black guy on the hood. What the fuck? I'm just saying, like, you are not helping your case here, bro. Oh, God.
Listen. Dang it. This is the Dangan struggle.
Desmond learns how to shoot guns from going to the range with his father. There's a strong bond between Desmond and his father, so when his father ends up getting killed in a shootout with one of these violent gangs, Desmond seeks revenge against the request of his mother and siblings. He makes it his goal to track down every member of the gang and eliminate them one by one. Such vengeance is recognized by Ava as she scouts potential members for her killing game, with the idea that if she could create motivation for Desmond to seek revenge against the other contestants, it would force him to prove everything about those with talent abusing their power true, even if it was against bad people. Desmond's deeds were never discovered, and he has only told one other person about them. Oh
So
yeah, the
the thing-
absentee father trope.
So the thing that isn't mentioned is that Desmond, along with being an Etika thing, there is apparently, yeah, they gave him a suicide plotline, and everybody was like, "What the heck?"
That's a yikes.
So it was during the leak, and everybody was like, "So you made a guy based off Etika," and of course nobody pointed it out yet, but you have. You made him your best friend. Because
Yeah.
I thought Wolfgang was gonna be the Kyoko in this, or the Togami in this, because of how like closely he's related to the plot. And apparently he fulfills more of a Sakura role
Yeah.
of being like the betrayer. But and then you gave him you
You put him in the
these-
hood.
he's-
He lives in the hood. You gave him an absentee father by killing off his dad. You turned him into just like a murderer because, I get like the gang members are bad people, but he just runs around and starts mindlessly killing people in like a revenge plot.
I like the fact that he said, I thought being a hunter was limiting, and so I made him a marksman without killing intent. Proceeds to kill everybody.
Yeah. Like, making him a hunter would have just worked better for his own story. But you turn him into, like, just a murderer, straight up. And then you give him a suicide plotline. And again, he's based off a real person who died. Fuck.
I'm not laughing because of the etiquette stuff. I'm laughing for the fact that you like thought this was a good idea. I'm like, this is
This is why you always reread your stuff, because sometimes when you do a second read of it, you go, huh, that sounds kind of fucked. Probably shouldn't do that. So now we have Eloise Tallner. Why does it look like you put 0 effort into this one and you put so much effort into this Etika one?
clearly because Eric is my totally not my parasocial best friend.
So
People, remember, guys, you think you're parasocial, you will never be more parasocial than that.
I created Eloise with the intent of having a character who is both familiar with another player of the killing game before entering it, as well as be able to give a different perspective of that character in order to create an emotional bond between the two. Desmond and Why is she friends with Desmond? Desmond and Eloise are both familiar with each other after joining the U.S. Olympic team for their respective talents. Desmond for shooting and Eloise for fencing.
Okay, so I remember this one. This weird character is like the typical like pudgy fat character, and there were a lot of things that happened with this where everybody was kind of like, I'm kind of iffy on the writing, but maybe I'm just looking too deep into it. But nah, literally her first line in her one of the first lines in her character bio is, "Don't be what is it? I'm sorry, the laughter destroyed my brain. Don't be fooled by her size." Because she apparently was going to be skinny, but then they were like, no, we're going to make her fat.
Probably don't make the fencer fat. You could have made the gamer girl fat. You have a gamer girl.
Nah, but she's the gamer girl.
You made the Olympic fencer fat.
Yes.
And then
Remember
we have...
that. This is about realism.
Then we have Kai Montego. The role Kai plays in this story is certainly the most evolved and the most controversial, depending on how you view the subject matter that I wish to tackle with his story. Originally, Kai was going to be the ultimate lucky student, and this is even more clear when you realize his name is an anagram for Makoto Nagai.
Makoto Naegi. First off, we already did the anagram name character. His name is Nagito Komaeda, and his name is actually Japanese.
Yeah. As I started to expand upon the world I was building and what talents should be in this story, Kai evolved from being lucky to being an influencer. Fucking why?
This is about realism.
I believe the skill of an influencer is something new in today's society, and therefore a great subject matter to address in terms of both pros and cons that people in this occupation might experience. Influencers also have a lot of social weight in our society in terms of how people structure their ideas and thoughts related to any topic that the influencer wishes to focus on. Okay, you're... whatever, bruv. Oh, here's the Russian girl with the Yushenka. Cassidy Amber.
We can actually read this one because apparently I think it's something about communism happens in here.
Oh, this one's short, so yeah, I can pound through it.
What is it?
This ball of energy is probably going to be the most exaggerated character in this cast. I wanted to insert some upbeat energy into the cast, and while Diana maintains an upbeat attitude, Cassidy is pure chaos with some gamer terms mixed in. Shut the fuck up. Don't do that. You were going to make me cringe.
Have her say actual gamer words if you're going to go that far, bro. If she's pure chaos, have her say it.
Her physical appearance is actually based on a person that I know, and with her permission used her likeness to design the character's aesthetic. Cassidy fell in love with video games from a very young... Are you going to say something?
No, I just think it's weird that he keeps using... Again, based on real people. Please do not base your fans on a game about killing each other.
At least with this one, they asked permission first. Fair. Cassidy fell in love with video games from a very young age, playing with her older brothers whenever there was room for her in front of the TV. As the only girl, there was definite conflict that she had to deal with, constantly being berated and teased by the boys for her poor gamer reflexes and reaction times. Whenever the boys were away, she would sneak into the game consoles and practice for hours, in hopes of improving her skills for the next face-off against her brothers. Over the years, she became extremely versatile with all of the different competitive games that she practiced. Once Cassidy became aware of gaming tournaments, she started to enter them and showcase her skills in rooms full of wide-eyed gamers, amazed by her talent, earning the name Redhead Menace, a reference to the red minions of communism. The hammer and sickle that she wears. She quickly rose to infamy for her competitions and pop-off moments that were streamed live to audiences of thousands. Her fans referred to themselves as Cassidy's comrades and devoutly followed her every word, no matter how insane or asinine the request was. Quickly devolved from a wholesome support of the gamer girl into crazed, obsessive fan base that would go as far as to attack and dox the other competitors. What are you doing, dude? Her reputation as a pro gamer quickly transformed from a proud role model for female gamers in the competitive scene into a loudmouth trash talker that refuses to address her toxic followers. You could say Cassidy is a parallel to Kai, where Kai utilizes his toxic fanbase for his own motives. Cassidy feels like she has no control over her toxic fanbase and is a victim to their actions, taking full responsibility for whatever repercussions follow. Cassidy's role in the story is to be proactive with her self-restraint and take responsibility for the consequences that directly follow her calls to action. She should start this killing game being as loud and proud as she can be, but maybe she begins to humble herself and finally realize that her energy level needs to match the rest of the room. The lesson for Damon to learn from her would hopefully be that your words and actions can have severe consequences if taken out of context and pushed to an extreme position. Learning to be more clear with your language and intention might serve both Damon and Cassidy some good for their conduct. Why do we have two people together? Tozu and Mara?
Yeah, look like twins.
Did you think I could finish off the cast list forgetting about these two members? No, Tozu and Mara are both equally as important to the story as any other participant in the killing game. The reason I left their stories out of the world chapter of this document was because most of their relevance to the plot occurs during the killing game, not before. It's also important to note that their role in the story should be as it relates to the killing game, so let's start with Tozu. How long is this? Not too bad.
What is it? I can read the rest.
I was gonna kind of skim. Is he supposed to be Monokuma?
No, I mean, he said he can't make another Monokuma.
It says, when I decided to create my Monokuma character role for this game, I came to accept the fact that I would never create a better Monokuma. With Tozu, I decided to take a different direction. Since Tozu is an actual person in a costume, there's more tension and threat that accompanies his presence in every room he walks into. The fact that there is a human element to the character creates both a sense of hope in the students, with them believing if they manage to overpower him, they could escape, and a sense of fear, knowing that despite those opportunities existing, he's not afraid of getting in the face of anyone. So he's our sort of kind of Monokuma.
Exactly. Here's my problem. You're taking this way too seriously. Just make something goofy. Just make a goofy role. There's a reason why Monokuma's the mascot of the game, because at the end of the day, this is a goofy talking bear.
Yeah.
It's a goofy bear. He's a goofy bear. He has children. He blows up. He summons the spears of Gungear when he wants to, and that's it. That's all you need to do.
So what is Mara? Considered by Ava to be the ultimate mercenary, she's contacted through Ava's team for an enforcement role in the killing game. So she's just the other Monokuma?
Yes. We're twins.
Ava does not plan on paying Mara the rest of what she's owed, and she will be disposed of once the killing game is over. This creates an interesting opportunity for how we utilize Mara's role in the story, since it is distinct and somewhat separate from Tozu's role as the killing game's host. I believe we can utilize the lie that Ava presents Mara against Ava as a way for the killing game to end. This would make Mara the hero that comes to the surviving students' rescue and helps defeat the mastermind that forced them all to play this horrible game built by lies and deceit. This is hella fucking stupid.
Really good.
You split Monokuma into two different people and tried to make one of them the hero. What are you doing?
Well, Monokuma is just so comically evil. What if we just, empathize with him and made him a bounty hunter? Oh, the rest of this, oh my god.
How I originally wanted Chapter 6 to play out, it involved setting up a trap to kidnap Mara and hold her hostage to force Tozu out of hiding, since he would mysteriously disappear after the 5th class trial. The students would break all of the cameras except one, the camera in the class trial hall, a callback to what happened in the original killing game. The watches on their wrist would also have GPS disabled, further forcing Tozu to reappear in front of the cast and allow them to leave, using Mara's life as a bargaining chip. The students gather with Mara in the class trial hall, only to see the elevator finally arrive, and inside is a dead Tozu. Stepping over his body and walking towards the students is Ava, alive and smiling. It's a jarring reaction, but at the same time, expected by Damon the entire time. She's the ultimate liar, and letting herself die so easily at the beginning of the killing game would have been a complete waste of her ability to oversee her creation. Her execution at the end of Chapter 1 was a fake, doctored to make it look like Ava actually died, another one of Ava's lies. Shock of the students fixates their attention onto Ava, giving Mara the opportunity she needed to distract them and escape the bindings, knocking over one of the students holding her weapon and regrouping with Ava on the other side of the room. To standoff. Over the course of the trial that ensues, they will have to explain what happened to Tozu, the history of Eden's Guardian Academy, how Ava worked with Wolfgang to create everything. I'm hoping that it will play out less of an exposition dump and more in line with how Ava murdered the students playing this game with her lies. The trial could explore every lie Ava told everyone involved, including Tozu and Wolfgang. Instead, proving Ava is the mastermind, you would be proving that Ava is the ultimate liar, and therefore someone who Ava herself would hate. You'd prove to her that she became the very thing she swore to destroy, someone with immense talent and skill. This is the metaphorical win for the player, since your goal in the game would be to attack and destroy the ideology that Ava preaches, fighting against her flawed perspective of talent and proving her inconsistent with her own ideals. That's stupid.
This really is.
It is hella dumb.
I just think it's really dumb because this is literally this is literally just Danganronpa V3.
It would be the best ending to a Danganronpa game that has ever existed, firing a bullet of truth to kill the ultimate liar. I like how he's saying that he is making the ultimate ending to a Danganronpa game as his dumb fan game. Peak narcissism. don't understand. My ending is the best ending to a Danganronpa game ever.
I like how they're making fun of you saying those.
I'm gonna keep saying Tozu. We're sticking with that. I've said it and like we're sticking with it.
I want to see something real quick. Okay, Tozu's a real name. I just wanted to make sure about it real quick because I'm like, we just making up Japanese names now. Might as well check if the rest of them are real.
Fair. I think it's the only thing that mattered towards the end here.
Yes.
I want to make each murder inspired by the 7 deadly sins. You're just fucking winging it.
Well, they weren't gonna be directly inspired by. Maybe it's just their backstory. Oh my gosh, let me see this ending real quick. Oh my gosh. Alright.
He's talking about difficulty scaling.
How the story will go so far. Do you want to just skip that and hop over to his section about the problem with visual novels?
Well, yeah, I was already there. The gameplay, the problems with visual novels. Because I was wondering, like, when we're almost at the end. Are we just gonna touch on this and then, yep.
What is it? Let me double check real quick.
Mizu's an EP baby.
Nah, you're good. You're good. I didn't think we were gonna make it through this entire thing. I just wanted to touch on the more important stuff because, remember, I hate Danganronpa. I hated Danganronpa. I hate anime. I hate reading.
Just an absolute, like, nutter butter.
I love how he did all that, but he expected everybody to read this entire doc.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I hate reading. Here's my 70-page doc.
Oh my gosh. Alright, let me take care of this. I made the claim earlier that Danganronpa was a flawed masterpiece, and that in part relates heavily with the gameplay mechanics of this visual novel. The formula Danganronpa got right was with how the main source of player interactivity and challenge was executed. Non-stop debate is almost perfect. In a game that predominantly relies on text-based information and plot delivery, having the stable gameplay be text flying across the screen would be an incredibly boring idea if presented to somebody with no prior reference. Yet Danganronpa managed to take the idea and make it work in a way that no other game has been able to replicate. There's something about the presentation of the arguments, the way they fly across the screen and having to carefully read them all before they disappear. And all of this forces your mind to work against your own understanding of the facts to find the illogical points being made. It's a beautiful dance that needs little change when importing the gameplay format for this project. However, there is still some minor problems that I think we need to address. The redundancy of the timer, scaling difficulty, gameplay pattern variance, activatable powers / abilities / upgrades. If players want to stop and think, they can always pause the game or go into their truth bullet menu, which will stop the timer altogether. I don't know if we wish to keep that or not, since the whole point of the time system is to make you think fast and solve the problem before time runs out. If we need static time, example 5 minutes per non-stop debate, we can do that, but we can scale the timer so that in the late game it's shorter, longer, depending on how we wish to approach the difficulty scale for our mini games. Another issue being difficulty. It appears that the only current metric for how difficult a non-stop debate relies on the how many truth bullets you were given. At least to me, that doesn't make the game more difficult, since I might already go into a round knowing what answer I'll use to progress anyways. Maybe we address this by introducing new features like weak points where you have to scan for the exact spot you need to hit with the truth bullet, or faster moving text on the screen. So that's just straight up a Danganronpa mechanic. In terms of gameplay variance, we need to make sure that if we introduce the new mechanics to the game, that it doesn't conflict with the previous gameplay patterns or behavior learned from the player. We also want to limit the number of input commands so as to not swap the player with micro that some players can't keep up with. Okay. Something V3 introduced was pre-jury, where you could essentially turn a truth bullet into a lie, and in some rounds, lie in order to move the trial forward. It was not in select non-stop debate rounds, but something I wanted to do with this project was to make it so every non-stop debate gave the player an opportunity to lie in order to progress the case. It was something that would be thematic to our story and characters, as well as create some optional variants for players who enjoy actively thinking about the case at large, and what they could possibly lie about to make the truth be revealed. I also incorporated a second ending based on whether or not the player used more truth bullets or lies during the non-stop debate minigames, and it would only require a simple counter on the back end to determine. The last thing is those very obscene, sometimes useless abilities that you would unlock after maxing out the friendships with one of the other students. Sometimes it would be something super broken, where whenever you slow down time, you recover HP. Other times the powers were something weak and noticeable, like passively increasing your influence gauge. Something me and the programmers are working on is a way to rework how the players increase their stats and unlock abilities that are actually meaningful or impactful in our minigames. Part of our solution will seem to incorporate the gift system related to free time events. Gifts require a spreadsheet to understand, and we want to avoid that altogether.
Gifts in a lot of games are really stupid.
It's like I understand like you don't like the gifts, like the systems and everything in the game, but the whole point is to get to know these characters. And basically from what I keep seeing from this is I don't want you really to interact with the characters. I just want to make cool OCs do cool OC things and then have them die or live, depending on how I want this to go.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you want to figure out which members of the cast loved which gifts, most of us have resorted to Google or looking at a walkthrough. This is dangerous, as such outside information could lead players straight to spoilers unintentionally. Our current solution to gifts is to make it so all gifts will unlock the FTEs of our cast. Now, how do you decide which gift to give someone? Our answer relies on which stats you want to increase with the protagonist. We came up with a progression system similar to Persona 5, where our characters has stats that start off at 0, and each gift is assigned one or two different stat increases related to it. For example, if a gift has 1 point in kindness and 1 point in charisma, then you will be awarded those points when you give that specific gift to any member of the cast. That way, the player's choices of which gift to give someone can always be determined without outside knowledge being sought out by the player. Currently, I was thinking of 5 main stats for our protagonist to level, something close to this: style, tenacity, intelligence, charisma, and kindness. Yes, the anagrams stick, and I think we lost the plot a long time ago.
Run. Oh my god. See the next bold text.
That's basically what this entire thing is. It's like, I am better.
Don't understand. I could do this game better.
I can do this game without blackjack and hookers, because that's basically what it is.
I don't even need blackjack and hookers to make my game better.
I have empathy and OCs.
Also, somebody put a suggestion in our video suggestion chat. That's Oren High School Host Club is misogynistic.
Oh. You know what? You know what? I'll check it out, because if it's that Danny video, it's not a real video, it's just reactions. Oh
no, it's somebody called Runaway Siren.
Oh, I already already feel the headache coming on. It doesn't have to be this. It just took some inspiration from Fallout's special stat system acronym. You just want to make Danganronpa and Fallout, bro. Either way, we can make it so leveling each specific stat is responsible for the more mundane passive upgrades that affect all the mini-games. Leveling tenacity increases your HP. Leveling charisma increases your influence bar. This way, if we wanted to, we can focus on creating more purposeful and noticeable our abilities/skills that we can unlock from members of the cast after unlocking all their free time events. And it will feel more rewarding. This also creates player choice, as some players might want to focus on having more HP, leveling tenacity, whereas others might want to focus on increasing the slow effect of their influence power, leveling intelligence, and all these stats will carry over to every mini game in the class trials, having more impact on the gameplay at large. I hope with the implementation of the stat system, that gift giving will become less of a spoiler session with some online forum/walkthrough, and feel more intuitive as to give the player character choice that will affect both their playstyle and strategy. This will lead me to my final point, involving gameplay changes that I believe we need to make. We can do better than what Danganronpa did. Looking at their games, we can definitely tell that it was made for the PS Vita in mind. The reason you'd make a visual novel is because you're on a tight budget and want to make a cost-effective game that is easy to program and focuses heavily on story while not relying on graphical fidelity.
I don't consider visual novels games in general. And I know I consider the visual novels. I consider them their own category. But you don't make a visual novel because you're too lazy to make a game. It is very specifically a different market. That's like saying you made a book because movies are too expensive. Like, it's a completely different thing.
My thing with Danganronpa is I kind of see it as both, because there is gameplay. It's just that, like, you gotta sit through a bunch of visual novel to get to that gameplay. What is it, like Ace Attorney? It's basically Ace Attorney.
Yeah.
But there's even with like a tight budget, like recently they had like a whole like anniversary thing recently, and they blew up some of the sprites for the original Danganronpa cast, and so many artists I've seen that follow Danganronpa are like, there's so many mistakes on these models and you can tell, but who cares, because it's Danganronpa and I love Danganronpa. And this guy's literally like, this game is kind of cheap and I can do that too.
By the way, chat, I do believe we have done the female anime characters in Shonen still suck. I wouldn't know off the top of my head which one it is. I think it's this one. We have anime has a villainous problem, misogyny and Dan. Yes, My Hero Academia is sexist. The fan service is bad one. There's a lot of videos about people hating women in shonen.
It's because these people haven't touched shonen, will never touch shonen. Like actual real shonen that isn't popular.
You can also share it in my Discord sometime. If we haven't seen it, I will look into it.
Oh my gosh, this is the greatest document I've ever seen. You know what? I understand why manifestos get popular, because of crap like this.
Yeah.
Looking at their blah blah blah. The thing is, we have an amazing team of talented individuals who can not only replicate the work seen in Danganronpa games, but can create work better than it. Just because something would be in line with what Danganronpa does not mean we have to follow it. And this mainly comes down to the context of certain mini games that the franchise is known for. Hangman's Gambit is one of, if not the most controversial mini games in the series due to its complex and at times frustrating gameplay mechanics. I believe we can create a reworked version with that both engages the player and feels smooth to navigate. I've already began brainstorming with the programmers for how to rework, touch up certain mini games from the franchise, and we can come up with possible solutions for how we wish to approach their designs. With the most recent version of Hangman's Gambit as an example, it feels less intuitive and more random number generator. With you just sitting and waiting for the correct letter to pop up on screen. I don't want players to just sit there and not moving. That's the opposite of good game design. So the new version of Hangman's Gambit that we are theory crafted just involves navigating a small map with letters scattered throughout, and enemies constantly firing at you as you try to retrieve the right letters. Currently, its theme is a pirate ship, with the letters being on pieces of the overboard cargo boxes floating with the ocean, and enemy pirates firing cannonballs towards your direction. It's active, intuitive, and thematic, with one of the members of our cast, Jean, being the ultimate ship captain. Now, the reason I went with the concept of assigned themes for our minigame based on members of our cast is so that there is a reason why Damon's thought process visualizes the way they do. For example, if Jean creates a roadblock with the prologue class trial. Oh my gosh. In the
I believe in you,
Kendra. My brain's dying, guys.
Don't worry, Kendra. One day I'll help you get your GED.
In the prologue class trial, then maybe Damon's thinking for the answer can become Hangman's Gambit with my new concept, since it will involve Damon actively thinking about Jean, and once Damon finds the answer, he will store that method of problem solving for future class trials, even if Jean is no longer around and participating in them. I view this thematic association of the mini game the same way that with other members of the cast, in regards to how we can make a connection with certain students' talents, i.e. Nonstop Debate equals Desmond, Rebuttal Showdown is Eloise, Panic Time Action, Mark, etc. Stop! It's not that deep, bro. Calm down.
Thank you, Dustblight, for the super. Was this going to be an ironic visual novel made by an anime auntie like the Doki Doki Literature Club guy? My understanding is Doki Doki Literature Club was not meant to be ironic. It was meant to be genuine. But no, this was meant to be genuine. He's too much of a narcissist to let that happen.
Here's the thing, Doki Doki Literature Club does not try to be anything more than what it is. You can tell it actually appreciates visual novels from how the way CGs alone are set up, or how character interactions are played. Like, you can tell they actually cared. It's the fan base that tries to act like it, or not even the fan base, though it is some of the fan base, but mostly LARPers of the fan base who go on to other visual novels, and it's like, this is just like Doki Doki Literature Club, and it came out 20 years before. You know I'm right. What I'm saying is blame LARPers. And this guy is very much the biggest LARPer there is in Danganronpa.
Yeah, this is pretty rough.
Oh, alright, final page. Would you like to read it?
Oh, I had scrolled back up to the top. I thought we were just going to skip the conclusion.
I
can breeze through it. This photo was taken over a year ago, just 1 month into working on this project, when it was literally just myself working on how I'd conduct the story and aesthetic for my killing game. Originally, the idea was titled The Revelation in Eden's Garden, Danganronpa. Back almost a year ago, I changed it just to Project Eden's Garden because I knew that this was going to be something more than Danganronpa. That this would be... You are such a narcissist. Oh, shit. This would be more meaningful, more impactful, and most importantly, more beautiful than Danganronpa itself. This project deserved its own distinction, not needing to rely on the franchise title to prove itself. I will say this, because under normal circumstances, I would say this is somebody that hates Danganronpa. But from what I've seen from Danganronpa fans, this is actually probably par for the course. I don't know what's wrong with Danganronpa fans, but like their entire community just fucking hates the game.
No. You see, everyone loves the game. Everyone loves the aesthetic. Everyone just is like, everybody just tries to act like Danganronpa is deeper than any. Again, this is like you said, this is the mindset of most Danganronpa fans, because for some reason you got a lot of fans that are like very either tone deaf, really like dumb for some reason, because there are so many things that happen in this franchise, and then people will go, you'll see a Danganronpa profile picture, be like, I'm so against this really problematic media, and it's like Danganronpa has literally corpse banging.
Yeah.
Like necrophilia is canon to this franchise. What are you talking about?
This project is everything for me. I wake up every day excited by the hard work and enthusiasm that each member... You just said it was you. Each member of this team has to work on something special like this. I couldn't ask for anything more than to see this project go all the way. Helping forge paths and open doors of opportunities for everyone involved. I appreciate the involvement and willingness to work with me on this despite whatever roadblocks seem to pop up. At times, I've always been the type of person to give up easily, and whenever there seemed to be an obstacle in my path, I just accepted that my plans would never work. This project is a refutation of that lifestyle. I will persist, and I hope that journey includes all of you amazing, talented people. This was 5 years ago. The game never got past chapter 1. There were supposed to be at least 6 chapters that we know of.
Yep, and because everything got leaked out, now the groomer that got exposed, everyone left. There will be no chapter 2.
How long until he gives up? This was released because the project has been canned officially. However, apparently some people have moved on to a new project.
Yep.
Yeah, no, this is... We're seeing this because the project is dead. It's over. It had chapter 0 and chapter 1. It will never get the other 5 chapters.
Real and true, bro. I've been seeing some of the because this was a volunteer-heavy project, which is why the chapters were taking so long. Most of the volunteers have left. All voice actors and actresses have left. All the artists have left. All because this guy and the original person behind this would not fire one groomer.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
Guy writing this is the groomer? No, not the guy writing this. A different guy.
No. One of the voice actors was revealed to be a groomer. And people told the higher-ups to be like, hey, this dude is a groomer. And they were like, well, we kind of don't want to fire him. So, okay. And then they kept him, and then they hid that from everyone else. And then when everybody else found out, everybody left.
Yep. And this was released because the project was now canceled because everybody left. And they're like, well, fine, I'll just release my beautiful manifesto, and everyone will understand how smart and intelligent I was and how good this project was. This was rough. We'd keep going, chat, but me and Kendra are sleepy babies.
I mean, literally after this, it's literally just a Q&A thing.
Well, I mean, we have all the other spots that we skipped over.
True.
But chat, I already have somewhere for you guys to get rated out to. Kendra, is there anything else you want to say before we escape?
You think you're parasocial. You think your ideas aren't good. Trust me. Just remember that these people exist.
Yeah, chat, whenever you think that maybe you're a little up your own ass and a little narcissistic, just remember this guy happened. Thank you for the head pats.
Thank you, chat. Thank you, everyone, for coming to today's stream. I'm gonna go rest my neck because I laughed too hard.
Thank you, Dustblight, for the 5. As an Etika fan, using him like that for the plot disgusted me. Someone like them would have been the type to cancel Etika nowadays. I don't know about all that, but you definitely shouldn't be using an actual dead person for this. And then making them your best friend, you fucking weirdo. Oh. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
And remember, chat, somebody loves you out there.
Yeah. Remember, no harassment. It's just point and laugh. Point and laugh, bro.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Bye.